What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the ranch. Welcome to the ranch. So glad everybody's in here right now. Let's see, we have 4 people in here. Say hi if you're in here. I don't see anybody in the chat, but I know you're in here. It shows me you're in here. I know. Anyway, welcome to the ranch, everybody. So glad everybody's in here tonight. I said I know you're in here, and I scared somebody off. They just took off because they didn't want me to know they were in here, I guess. Anyway, I'm so glad everybody's coming in. You look and see that my partner is not here. That's only because she needed to take care of a few things right before we go live. And, you know, the thing is that, look, life is busy, right? Life is busy. Work is busy. Sorry, I'm trying to get the microphone where I need it. Life is busy. Work is busy. And sometimes we're just rushing around. And, you know, this live that we do every Thursday is a time where we're able to just actually slow down. And it may not seem like where we're able to slow down because of everything that's going on. And anybody that does lives knows that it's not just a matter of jumping in, hitting go live. Not unless you're like the random go live person, which we're not really that type of group, I guess. And maybe more because I'm like a planner. I like to make sure things are like just so. And anybody who was on our first probably 6 months worth, maybe even longer, of lives would know if you were a special guest, you got an email, you got a list of questions that we were going to ask. And there was like a whole list of things I would make sure people had the right lighting, make sure they had the microphone, make sure they checked stuff out before they came on, just so that we could have a nice quality live. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so, you know, for us, this is actually a time because we've kind of redone things. We've kind of reconditioned how we do our lives. Now I got to reposition myself because the lovely wife is in.
Hi.
But did you say hi?
Hi.
Anyway.
Look at birthday girls.
So, yeah, we're going to address these folks in just a minute. But so, yeah, you know, the thing is that Monica and I, when we come into a live, this is our downtime. This is where we're not like hustling around with the kids. We
just hustle really a lot to get in here.
Right. We're not worried about the cows outside. We're not worried about the birds. Yeah. The kids are doing their thing. You know, but it is a rush to get in here. We get, you know, got to hurry up and get home from work, get whatever situated, give direction to the kids, make sure dinner's ready.
The kids are really good about making sure that they're kind of like doing their own thing. Thankfully, we have older kids to help with the younger kids so they can get all their stuff done. So that's really nice. So,
yeah, that's a question I want to ask all the folks that are in the chat tonight. Because I was going to say that we have the best kids. And a lot of times, you know, you have two different types of parents, right? You have the ones that are naive and they're like, my kids are the best. And then they turn out to be complete hooligans. And
don't get me wrong. My kids are the best, but they are hooligans sometimes.
So. They get that honestly.
Mm-hmm. They do. I heard stories about you.
Wait, what?
Not about me. I was a good girl.
Just you were a good girl.
I was.
Wasn't that you that snuck off to Burger King?
Oh,
really? Don't even get me started.
Really?
Mm-mm.
No.
Anyway,
go back up in the chat and say hi to everybody.
So yeah, if you're in here, which group are you? Are you the naive?
Your kids
parents?
Are perfect, or are you the kids that are really down to earth, and your kids are perfect in their special way, and they're there you go. Carlos says my kids are the best because they're imaginary.
Those probably are the best ones.
They're the most well behaved, right?
They are, right? They've never misbehaved. They've never done anything wrong.
Okay, so let's say hi to Ann Dale. How are you today, Miss Ann Dale? Deborah Resignolo. I don't know how to say your last name. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Hey, cool gamer. How are you tonight? Miss Tina Ladybug. Texas Carnivore is in here. Hello. Oh, Nick. What's up, Nick? Oh, well. Hey, Nick. Nick is actually, can I just do a real quick hand clap for Nick? Nick from Arizona Highland Homestead is actually here before 10 o'clock. Bless his heart. We just love you so much, Nick, because you have made my night the past two Thursday nights when you roll up in here at 10 on the money. It has made my night, and I love it because it gives me just joy to see you in here. And you're like, hey, everybody. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're last getting here. Why are you in here so late? Anyway, just because we like to have you in here. So anyway, so hi, Nick from
Welcome.
Arizona Highland Homestead. Regina Reboot's in here. Miss Carmen, G's Loving Homesteader. How are you? 12 Stones Ranch. So you're saying you're busy sometimes? Yes, Byron, sometimes we get busy. Miss Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. How are you? Jeannie Lipsky is here. Let's see. Lisa Kalovi. What's up, girl? Gwen from Broke Cowgirls in here. Carla, we're living a rogue life. Let's see. Oh, Zombie Prepper's in here. Hello, how are you?
What's up? What's up?
How are you? And Ryan from Heavenly Hills Homestead's here. How are you doing? Redbird Farm. Hey, Miss Brenda Baker, how are you? And Miss Denise Paschal is in here. How are you doing? The Green Granny. I saw she posted a picture the other day. It was so pretty. It was like the sunset. It was gorgeous. Or maybe it was a sunrise. Anyway. Oh, you got your Andale bag. Yay! You have to post a picture. I want to see. So yeah, I got to learn how to watch TV and comment on TV. That's okay. You're doing good just where you are. And then of course
you could just take your laptop if you have one, HDMI into it.
Yeah.
Or if you have your phone, you could always AirPlay it if it's Apple.
Yeah.
AirPlay
I don't know if you can comment though while you're AirPlaying it through your phone like that. You can't comment like that. So
or not AirPlay, mirror. Sorry, mirror.
Screen mirror. Yeah, that's just harder to see sometimes too.
Whoa.
And then of course, Sharon Bland's in here. She is
hey,
today's her birthday.
Yeah, I want to tell her business too.
Why?
Is that okay? Can I say that?
You say how old she is?
I was gonna say how old
It's
she
a
is.
big birthday.
I think
she's beautiful. She does not look. No, I don't know really what does this age look like.
I feel like in my mind, what it looked like when I was younger, it was like
your mama. It looked like your mama. It always so tell her how old your mom is.
I'm gonna tell mom her. Well, I'll let mom say whether or not she wants to say it.
Oh, really?
All right.
You're gonna give her a choice.
She's 70.
She's 70. Honestly,
70.
It's funny because when I was like in my 20s, I used to think 20s. I mean, I used to think in my 20s that 70s look like my grandmom. Now, obviously, she's a grandmom, but it doesn't look like she doesn't look like my grandmom did. Like she doesn't look like her mom did. I feel like at 70. Like I feel like
I don't know. My mom would look young.
She did for a while, but I feel like she looked a little older all of a sudden. But your mom doesn't look like she's 70. So not that 70 is old, but she doesn't look 70. Like I feel like
you leaning
back
again?
when I was, I'm good. Back when I was in my 20s, 70s looked older. It doesn't look that old anymore.
I think 70 looks wonderful.
I think it looks great. I think your mom looks good for 70. She looks super good. So
I think you look
happy
great.
birthday, Sharon. So yeah, we got our birthday gift too. I'm super excited.
Oh, I forgot to take it over tonight.
No, we have to wait.
Oh.
I'm excited. I can't wait to give her the birthday gift.
Here's the funny thing about my family is our family is all about saying happy birthday, not actually on your birthday as much as when they see you to celebrate your birthday. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm right. So I take back the happy birthday earlier, Mom. I'm taking that back.
We say happy birthday because I like when people tell me happy birthday on my actual birthday. Because it's been a long-standing joke that my birthday is not actually my birthday. And so it actually makes me a little bit frustrated and angry when people tell me happy birthday the day after my birthday when they know very well it's not my birthday. Yeah. That awkward silence. Mm-hmm.
Moving right along.
That's how I feel. Okay, so Carmen, I have not really paid attention to the Muscovies. I think I have 2 or 3 boy Muscovies. She's asking a question. I think I have like 2 or 3 boy Muscovies, but the rest of them I think are girls. So I'm excited. I'm a little bit bummed because that means I have to get rid of 2 Muscovies. I think if there's 3 boys, I'm gonna have to get rid of 2 of them. But I'm excited because they're gorgeous and I just love them. So yeah, Carmen says, my family is insane about birthdays. My dad will take you off the wheel if you ignore the fact that it's his day. My mom is the same way. That's a really good idea.
Wait, are you reading that from your phone?
I'm reading it from over there.
Oh, okay. Miss Ariel, Viking Venturer, and Victuals. What's going on? So yes, happy birthday to my mommy.
That's funny.
I don't call her mommy.
Oh, that's so funny.
Maybe I should when I get older. Because, it's like your grandparents that had like their old voice calling their mom or their wife certain love names. Anyway,
Don't be
so
calling me mommy.
happy birthday. Yeah, I'm going to be calling you mommy.
No, you're not. Do not
Yeah.
call me mommy.
Isn't that what Carmen, I mean, Carmen is Puerto Rican, right?
She said my mom calls her. Yeah, but I think that's not. I don't
Somebody, I bet Nathan's calling her mommy.
know if
No. Right? Am I right?
Carmen, just
Come on, Carmen, give it to me here.
We don't need to know this stuff.
They call me mommy. All right. Anyway, so yes, happy birthday to everybody.
Happy birthday to everybody.
So, oh, I'm sorry. I was reading I don't read and talk at the same time. It don't work. Let's see.
Right?
Ariel Viking Venture and Victuals just came over from her premiere. So
I'll have to go back and watch that.
If you weren't there, go check it out.
Sorry, I'm going to move this thing real
quick.
Like
to support.
You're good.
We like to support everybody. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight as well.
Yes.
Okay. So Nathan calls me babe. He's out of the Caucasian descent. Good. That's a good point.
That was a good catch on that one.
That's a good point. You know what? I have refused to call Monica babe.
Really? You refuse? You're like, I refuse.
Well, because I feel like it's overused by everybody.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean? And same thing with honey. I don't call you honey. Now, I will say that sometimes when Monica like irritates me, I will call her baby.
Oh, you do that when you're irritated with me?
Sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes.
So it's not actually endearing. It's a term of insult at that point.
No, it's endearing. It helps me remember that I need to be kind.
You're talking yourself into loving me more. You're like,
no.
No.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. So I did want to make a comment earlier. We were asking the question about your kids, whether your kids are the best or are you naive or whatever, right? So Mom had commented, I threw it up, but I wanted to come back to it. And she said that all of her kids were the best because we told her so.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I've ever claimed to be the best.
I don't know.
I always look, here's the funny story about me too, because Mom, I was out of my family, I was voted most likely to not leave the house.
Really? Who voted you that?
Mom and Dad.
When you were what, 5?
No. Up until I actually left, I think.
You were literally 18.
I know, but they didn't.
That's not a lot of time.
They didn't think I'd ever leave. What can I say?
I think they were too quick to judge on that one. I'm not putting anything down on any of my kids right now. It's too early to tell. Thanks, Carmen. Appreciate that.
Oh, and Mom's seconding that one.
I agree with you. It's just parents. She said parents.
I don't know. Would you say I'm a mama's boy? I don't think I would say that. Would you?
I don't know.
I love my family. I'll be honest with you. That's the thing for me is I love my family. I love being around family. Mm-hmm. You know, years ago, my dad, and this is a testimony that I use a lot with people, that Monica and I really grew in our faith in the Lord years ago when my father was in a motorcycle accident. And that
24 years ago, September 3rd.
I don't know how you remember that.
I remember the day because it was a Wednesday. I had just had my car stolen on the Saturday before, and September 3rd was a Wednesday. So I had no vehicle to get to work. He took off work that day, Eric did. He was about to go get his motorcycle license.
True story.
We woke up to a family friend saying, hey, I think you need to make a phone call and check on your dad because there was a motorcycle accident right by your house, right by where his parents lived. And so, yeah, that Wednesday was a day. So that was September 3rd, 1998.
And that was the day that we learned that where the scripture says that tomorrow is not promised is a very real thing. Now, obviously, my dad is still with us.
Yeah.
But when he was laying up there in shock trauma and, you know, going through the weeks of physical therapy.
2 weeks shock trauma, 2 weeks in physical therapy at like a patient thing where you had to go to it. And then he was finally home after that. And there was so much, there was a part of, you know, him recovering from that. So yeah, that was a lot, but we were able to stay at the house and be able to help out where we could. I remember packing sandwiches to go to the hospital every day with his mom. We'd pack some sandwiches and rush to the hospital so we could be there when the nurses came in or the doctors came in to take notes, to do whatever we could to make sure that Dave was getting whatever care he needed. But that was 24 years ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Leanne, how are you? Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, terrible. I see Jesus Loving Homesteader.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But, you know, when you look back and think about how it did bring the family together. And
I think it did a lot for all of our faith. A lot of our faith. I mean, you can, I know we can feel it. We could see it in our relationship with the Lord. And I think it really was a huge impact on all of us anyway. So yeah, it was a scary, scary thing. And I'm sure Dave isn't like, wow, I'm really glad I had that accident.
Glad I could help the
glad
family.
I could help you out by having a massive accident. But I feel like it was one of those things where you have to look at God's plan versus the things that you would rather see, and realize that there is good in things even when it hurts. So yeah. Hey, Dixieland Homestead, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. So
about that. So it was your mom's birthday today.
It was Mom's birthday. Yep. And then we were asking about your kids, and we were asking about your
kids, if your kids are the best or they're not.
asking about or mentioning, I guess I should say, love names, pet names
for your significant others,
endearing terms for your significant other. And I think, well, I don't know. What do you call me? Like hot and sexy or something? No. Tall, dark, and handsome?
I don't call you that. I mean, maybe in my mind or in my journals. Well, but I do not call you that out loud. I usually call you Enrique. I call you Iraq. I call you all kinds of stuff.
You do call me all kinds of stuff. We need to talk about that. I think that I think I've earned the right to get a special name.
I'm not going to call you Big Poppy. He always wants me to call him Big Poppy, and I'm not calling him Big Poppy.
That's more of a joke than anything else. Come on.
Right. Always. I call mine husband. He rarely calls me anything other than Leanne. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You know, Eric calls me Monica most of the time. He doesn't call me anything else besides Monica. I mean, my name in his phone is Pumpkins, but that's not really, he doesn't really call me that. So, you know, it's one of those things. As a matter of fact, the other day, it could be worse. It could be Daddy Beans. I can call you Daddy Beans. I'm going to call you Daddy Beans.
You can call me anything, Daddy.
I'm not calling you that. Oh my gosh.
You're weird. Why are you weirding me out with this?
Oh, my kids are awesome. She says, awesome adults with those teen years known as the Darndale kids. That's where she learned to say, hush. You better hush.
Jeez, her kids must have been out of control. If she was parenting like that, where she was just giving them a stern talk to.
No, I think we're always kinder to our animals than we are our kids sometimes. Like Joy does something bad, I'm like, seriously? And then I'm like, okay, I love you so much. And my kids are like, and then I'm like, seriously? And I'm like, go sit down. Go take a timeout. I don't usually make Joy take timeouts like that. I'm usually apologetic as soon as I get mad at her. As soon as I get mad at her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I love you so much.
I was going to say, is that that's how you talk to the dog while I'm gone?
Well, only if she does something naughty. But she's a boxer, so she self-punishes a lot anyway. So she like walked across the room and I'm like, Joy, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm so sorry. And she like runs away. Like, oh, well, animals don't talk back. That's exactly right, Gwen. Although Peter, I feel like talks back. I feel like Peter has an attitude, you know what? And he talks back.
Peter does have an attitude. I'm going to tell you something, because the other day, here's the thing, ready? I go out there to feed this pig. Now, normally he gives me space because for the most part, he's pretty trained, right? Yeah. He just waits while I'm dumping the food in the bucket, which is above him. So he just waits until I get the bucket down, right? This joker the other day took his foot. It was right after we had all that heavy rain, and he stomped down and mud flew all over my leg. And I'm like, bro, give me some space. So I took my knee and kind of nudged him on his rib. And man, he went, ha, ha. And he's snorting and like whipping his head back. Like, boy, just put the food down now.
Wow, look at that. Tiny Tim Posey. Hello, by the way. My major motorcycle accident happened in 2004. By the grace of God, I am here. I dodged 2 deer, 11 days in hospital, ICU, and I still ride. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Now, that's one thing his dad doesn't do anymore is ride motorcycles. And it's been a long time. And he used to build them, like rebuild them. He used to, fix them up and resell them. And yeah, and then he hasn't done that since. So it's a rough path, I think, sometimes.
Well, the good thing is that his mechanical skills have definitely been used around the farm.
Oh, yeah. Look, my daughter said, once you talk to the dog, you talk to the dog better than me, she said. And then Andel said, they were cray-cray. Praise the Lord, they grew up later. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that's a lot of times, a lot of kids, you look at the kids. And I remember a long time ago when Luke, my second boy, was growing up, he was really young. And I read a story about, I read some books about strong-willed child. I had read, but was trying to read up on it because I really felt like he was going to give me a run for my money. And it was really hard. Some days were really hard with him. He would really push my buttons. And my oldest, Caleb, was super obedient. I mean, he would not really push me. He just was very amicable, and just he just got along with everybody and everything. He didn't really fuss at anybody. He wasn't a fussy baby. He wasn't any of that. And Luke just pushed everything you could think of. I mean, like if you said, "Hey, the sky is blue," he was like, "No, it's not." "Oh, yes, baby, it's blue." "No, it's not." "Okay, we're just going to argue just to argue." And so at that point I was like, "Okay, Lord, you got to help me, because I don't know how to make this better because I've never dealt with this before." And I was still a new mom. I had, older kid, but geez, this kid. And I just thought, Lord, I don't want to break his will. I just want to mold it for your wisdom and for your godly behavior and for all the things you can do with him. And I'm glad that I didn't really try to break his strong will, because now he is a very strong-willed adult who is amazing at apologetics. He's great for standing up for the Lord, and very much stands firm on his beliefs and knows what he wants and what he believes. And I adore that. And I am happy that I didn't break that will. I just prayed that the Lord would help me mold it for his use, because I will tell you what, it was, woo. Yeah, you have a few of those. As soon as the plastic spoon started coming out, my son started behaving well to the best of his ability. He's still strong-willed, curious, and doing backflips everywhere. Yeah, that's the boys. And the world needs Pauls and Peters. It's true. Yeah, he does. Not Peter the pig, but yes, men that are strong and strong in their faith, for sure. So, hey, Rich, how are you? Oh,
What's going on?
Gwen got her chores done right before dark and picked up over a pound of butter beans. They're going crazy since that rain and since the heat broke. Wow, that's awesome.
Have you had a chance to check our peppers and stuff?
Yeah, I was out there last night looking. They all have like little peppers. I'm seeing little peppers again. I'm so excited. I did bring in a few pepperoncinis that are starting to like pop off here and there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get out there and start picking some things. So yeah. Rich said, with kids, it's all on their end. I remember how dumb my dad was as a teenager. By the time I turned 21, he had learned a lot. Yeah, it's definitely the kids teaching the adults.
Oh man, let me tell you, I was telling somebody at work the other day that the good thing about having 8 kids is that you can actually do like surveys amongst the older kids. You can like poll the crowd and be like, "So, older kids, what did you think about this? And how did we do with this? And how should we do better with X?"
Yeah.
So,
oh, there you go. Look, some peppers are going for Gwen and Carmen. So there's some local people, right, to Texas. So Carmen, I'm super excited. Tomorrow night, we are going to check out the
that's place, really cool.
The location for this Saturday. Tomorrow night, some of the people are getting set up. Jake over at Nunya, Texas, in the back 20, and his sister and Ann from Little Frenchie. They're all going over to check out the location tomorrow and start setting up things. Hey, Emma, how are you? And so, hey, Caleb. And so tomorrow night, we're going to go down there and just kind of take some of our stuff down there too and get it set up and kind of see what it looks like so that we can kind of figure out how we're going to test some things out, because we're thinking about maybe going live at some point, depending on what's going on. But I'm going to tell you what, I am super psyched, because Saturday morning, we're going to be there bright and early, and we have a full schedule, full day plan from 10 a.m. when we get there. Classes start at noon. And then they go until 6 o'clock, where they go to about 5 or so. And we have questions, and there's going to be like a bread basics class. There's going to be canning and preserving foods. Also, they're going to process a couple animals. I am super excited to be able to spend the day with a bunch of people that are homesteaders, that are like-minded, that want to live off the land or raise their own food in some capacity. And we're learning skills. There's going to be a CPR person there. We're going to talk about first aid. Carmen from Jesus Love and Homesteader, she just dipped out of here. So I know she's gone for a second, but she's going to be there on Saturday. And I saw some of her stuff, Eric. She sent me a picture. She's got like a trifold presentation board.
What? Are you joking?
It is awesome. She's got giveaways. She's got like different herbs and different things she's going to bring in as like visuals. I'm so excited. I am so excited to see her present and just be able to learn and absorb everything that's been going on. So I'm psyched.
So a lot of times, we talk about these meetups.
Good night, Brenda.
And YouTube. Good night. And Dawn Ray was leaving too, so good night to her.
Bye, Dawn. Have a good sleep.
we talk about YouTube meetups and stuff like that. And I don't know, Monica and I don't think we've ever really been, I don't know, it's hard to get away for that. But I want to tell you that it was really awesome to see Jake take a step out and put this together. So if you haven't had a chance to go check him out over on his channel, do so. He pops in here. He's usually here. He's a great supporter of the channel and a very, very smart person. Love to talk with him. He was the guy that reached out because he saw our logo, and of course he's Texan. So he's like, oh, it's another Texan. I gotta know who that guy is. So he reached out to me, even being a bigger channel, to reach out to a smaller channel like that. I thought was pretty cool. But, Monica and I have talked about doing this, but we just never really, I guess, I don't want to say courage would be the right word, but
I think there was just a lot of different variables that we didn't know about. And because we're not local, because there's so many people that we don't know, it was nice for Jake to be like, okay, I can do it at a firehouse. That's what I'm going to do. We don't know people around here like that. And so he does know people. He's very in his community. And as much as I want to be in my community and I want to know people, I still don't know people like I should or like I could if I lived here a lot longer. So I'm excited that I'm meeting more people and I'm making those connections. But, oh, Gwen, come on up, girl. It's still open. You can come on up, or you can come back to the next time because I think we're going to do it again. But and Leanne, I'm going to instant message you. I'm going to DM you right now with the itinerary and what it looks like. I know they have it in their videos, but I will send you a picture of the actual copy. I'm going to DM you right now so you can see, because she said for those of you who are not going to be there, could you share the agenda? We're going to try something similar, and I'd like to see what you're all talking about.
Well, that's not Leanne.
Oh, it wasn't Leanne? Oh, it was Rich. I thought it was Leanne. Did Leanne say something too?
They were talking earlier.
Oh, okay.
But
so it's Leanne. It's not Leanne. Sorry, Rich. I'll send it to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you done apologizing?
I'm done.
Okay, because literally just. Anyway, so this is really cool because the hardest. What do they say? The hardest step is the first step.
Yep.
And it's so true. So I'm so glad that Jake did this because he had a really good interest in it. It's free, and what I like about it most is that it's what did you call it? A skills sharing.
It's a skills share. A
skills share, which is super cool because when you have people that are very knowledgeable about things that are coming in to share the things they have, not to say that, the people that are in there are, all knowing or the best in the category or whatever, but they're local people who have a passion and a knowledge base so that they can answer questions and kind of share what they've experienced, which is really cool.
Okay, so Tiny Tim said, I was coming down for Saturday, but I have a divine appointment to go to the Homestead Picnic in Grand River, Kentucky Saturday. I hope to visit you guys soon or the next event. So hopefully we'll have another event. I'm hoping that if there's enough support, which I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of interest still after this, we can maybe do it again. I think that Jake was kind of like, I don't know if we're going to have a chance or if we're going to, he wants to do it again if there's enough interest. And I think he doesn't realize how many people are going to want to see this happen again, because there's a lot of good things on the agenda. We have growing herbs. We have bread baking, incubating eggs. Anne's going to do a class on incubating eggs. We're going to do ham radio and different communication things, like ways to communicate if you need to, first aid CPR training, and then just a bunch of questions and answers. We're going to have a homesteading basics course. Eric and I are going to kind of teach a class on just kind of how to get started and just a little bit of what we like to share when it comes to just not jumping in, making sure you find your mentors, find some people that are like-minded. So I'm really excited to get it together and see what happens, Okay.
I want to say,
Rich, I DM'd you.
I want to say real quick, hello to Miss Jocelyn over at Hobbs Dirt Ranch. Also, we got Berkshire Farm that just jumped in here.
And yeah, Rich said it right there. Great get together. You'll be adding skills to your tool belt, but also another ring of help per se, should something happen. Support is wonderful. And that's, I think, my biggest thing is getting together with other people, building that community so that if you need something or you, not even about you needing something, but sometimes there's just support, I think, in some of that, And so if I knew that I needed rabbits, I could call on Carmen and say, hey girl, I need some rabbits. Do you have any available? Can I buy some from you? Can we barter? Can we trade? Can we do this? Or do you know someone else that has rabbits available right now? Because I'm interested. So she may not be the person that has it, but at least she can help me make those connections. And that's all about really community building. And I love that part of it. Hey, Harvey, how are you?
So if you go over to Jake's channel,
he doesn't say in the channel, I think.
But so one of the things that Monica and I worked on, mainly Monica, what I thought was super cool, and this is using technology to.
Carmen did a video on this too.
On what?
On this list.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go over and check out Jesus Loving Homesteader, one of the
Mhm.
videos that she
Yeah.
did. I think it was on our community tab, right?
I don't know if I put it on my community tab yet, actually.
Okay.
I'll put it up.
So one of the things we did using technology was to create a QR code so that you can actually screenshot it off of your phone. So if you're watching a video off of your phone, and or once they get on site, they can hit the QR code and it will take them to the agenda, but also a link tree that has everybody's contact information. So that if they listen to Monica and I in our presentation, they're like, that was absolutely horrible, I want to send them some hate mail. Now they have our email address, so they can just tell us how bad we were.
Yeah, for sure. Send us hate mail. You'll love it.
So,
we love the trolls.
But you can go
hey,
over.
Rich Tower Farm, how are you? Hey, Rich Cat Ranch.
I already said hi.
I missed it. I was paying attention to something else.
I know you weren't even listening when I said about hate mail. Anyway, so the animal processing that we're going to be doing is rabbit and quail. And again, this is just kind of like a springboard, because again, with the QR code, we should be able to get feedback from people about the meetup, the skills sharing, and see, how we can improve. You can do pretty much anything. And that's just trying to use technology to our advantage.
Yeah, I'm excited about the QR code. I'm excited about all that. Oh, Regina, what in the world? Oh, that's so sad. Broke your leg in 2 places. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, we're probably going to have another one. So stay tuned. And oh my goodness, we'll be praying for you to feel better. Oh, that's awful. Broke your leg in 2 places, and others probably other areas too, other places on your leg. Oh, that stinks. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, that stinks. Well, hopefully you can be at the next one then. I'm really excited. I really feel like it's something that if we do this now, then maybe we can get together again in November before the holidays, and then maybe again in January. I mean, I'm like looking ahead, because I feel like if you have that idea that, hey, I can't come this time, but I can come next time, and I have a very, I have a shareable skill. I feel like you don't have to be an expert at something to share your skill. You can be knowledgeable and share the skills you have, and you don't have to be an expert. I think sometimes that's what we shy away from. Yogi Hala Farm's doing this amazing like homesteading collaboration, where it's not a collaboration, it's a homesteading like course. Okay. So she's offering to meet up. She's doing videos with different people, and they're basically like, experts in that area, and they're not necessarily experts, but they are really knowledgeable. And she asked me if I wanted to be in it. And, Eric and I was like, we're not experts in anything. What are we that knowledgeable about that we can do? Like, what can we share?
Kids.
And I literally haven't even said to her, hey friend, I want to be on your video because I can share this. I feel like I don't have anything that's specific enough to share.
But that goes to your point, I think, sometimes where we shy away from things because we feel like we're not experts. But, the thing is that it's kind of like when we first started growing things.
Look, Carmen's like, do you have any comfrey? I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, Regina, if you need any help with anything, reach out to Carmen. She's good at the whole herbs, medicinals, kind of healing things. I say put some arnica on the wounds. If it's open, put some calendula on it.
Okay, settle down, doctor. Anyway.
Yeah, same.
But
JJ's an expert in kids.
Yeah. What was I going to say now? You made me mess up. So I was going to say that when we first started growing stuff, I was taught how to grow things in the ground by somebody who grew in buckets. So the guy that taught us how to grow things was raised in Baltimore City. And when he first asked me, when I first started working with him, he said, well, do you grow your own vegetables? And I said, no, I don't grow my own vegetables. I don't have any room. And he said, you don't have room? Do you have a patio? And I said, well, yeah. And he said, well, then you got room.
Yep.
Get some buckets, get some planters, and this is what you do. And he showed me how to, what is that called when the bean, when it starts to sprout, germinate. He showed me how to germinate green beans on the steam line at work.
Yeah, that was fun.
He wrapped those things, or like sat them on a tray with wet paper towels on top and bottom. And because it was on a steam line, he was like, you come back tomorrow, it's already going to be sprouting. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the next day we pulled the paper towel back, and he's like, so there you go. Now you're starting to get your, you're getting your starts.
I play one not on YouTube, but I play one in my house. So that's my other title. I'm Monica, the wife, Monica, the mom, Monica, the doctor, Monica, the chauffeur, Monica, the teacher. See, there's a lot of titles.
Those are only the nice titles that you got. You didn't give any of the ones that the kids talked about.
Rude. I seriously think that people who grow successfully in buckets or containers are absolutely awesome. I'm so impressed. I fail miserably. Yeah, I am not the best at growing in buckets. I can do sometimes, but I'm better at the ground growing. So, yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, Sweeties Creek Farm. How are you? We are both doing well.
Yeah. Good Mike.
Nice to see you in here. We appreciate it. Oh, look, there's Ricky Ventures coming up in here. How are you, Ricky? I see him in the chat.
Yep. For those who don't know yet, he'll be our special guest here shortly.
He's coming on here.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about today as well is about supporting local folks.
Oh yeah.
You gotta. I brought your bag of goodies in.
Thank you.
So I know that you like.
Well, Rich is giving me a hard time, so now I get to pull out these essential oil things and.
Wait, why is he giving you a hard time?
Because he said I play a doctor on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we do.
She plays a doctor in the house.
That's what I just said. Where have you been?
Oh, I'm listening. Trust me, I'm listening.
Well, okay, so one of the things I really like to do is support local. I love to buy things from people that are doing things with their goods, whatever it is, just local local salespeople. Okay, there
I don't know that I would say it like that.
I don't know, but so my friend Jocelyn, you guys all have seen on here before. She makes like tallow balm, like a body butter. Is it body butter, Jocelyn? Is it? Well, she uses tallow and she makes like a healing balm. So that's cool. So, things like that, supporting. Well, I went to the post office yesterday, and it's a small post office here in our town. And the lady there is super nice. And I always see her because I'm always dropping off mail because I'm an Amazon purchaser. Okay. I do buy from Amazon. Oh, it's like a body butter. She said, I do buy from Amazon. Okay. I'm not going to say I'm ashamed. I do.
Wait, is that like a thing? Like you're not supposed to?
Because it's like a big thing. Like it's like not necessarily. I mean,
what?
I like to buy local. I like to shop local, but I do buy from Amazon.
Well, yeah, because people, like local people don't necessarily have everything we need.
Well,
you don't need to apologize for that, girl. Be proud of your Amazon spending.
I buy. Well, thank
wait
you
a
for
minute.
that.
No, wait a minute.
Thank you for that. You heard it here, everybody.
I take it back.
I'm going to go back and record this one on my phone and play it later. I'll take that snippet and make that a short. So anyway, no, the thing is that I really do like to support local businesses. I always go into the post office to either return something or pick up a package. And the lady there is super sweet. I absolutely adore her. And she has a line of products, bath and body products. She does like lip balms and lotions and soaps and candles and tinctures and everything. Super nice lady. And I have purchased a candle before from her. But yesterday when I went in there, I noticed she had some soaps. Okay, so this is Oats and Shea Butter bar soap. It's got CBD in it. So I don't know if you guys can have CBD where you're at, but you can't do it with
it down. There you go.
Hey, there you go. So anyway, this really awesome body butter. Bar soap, right? So this is a cherry sandalwood vanilla. I don't smell the sandalwood. I just smell the cherry vanilla, and it is amazing.
What is sandalwood?
It's like a scent. I don't smell the sandalwood scent. I smell the vanilla and the cherry.
You know what I smell? This smells like the bazooka gum.
Okay, it smells great.
That's what it smells like.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I want to buy this. I said, you know what? I don't have my debit card. I was like, I said, I'm going to need to go home. I said, actually, I have some cash. How much is this bar? So she told me what it was. And I was like, well, let me go grab my cash real quick. And I said, I said, do you have anything else? Because I have a little bit of cash with me. And let me see what I can purchase because I love buying things that are local. I said, we have a live that we do on Thursday nights. If you don't mind, when I try it, if I can share it with other people. And she's like, oh my goodness, yes. Then she brings me over to the counter and she's like, well, I have this whipped sugar scrub and I have this grapefruit mint lotion and I got this and I got this. And she starts loading me up with body butters and body scrubs. And I'm like, I only have cash. And she's like, just take it. And then I get all these samples and oh my goodness, last night I used the sugar scrub. It's called mangosteen. So it's basically mango and grapefruit. It smells so good. The body soap, it's like a whipped sugar soap. It actually suds up like one of those soaps you just like squeeze out onto your little rag. what's it called? Like a body soap, like not like a bar. Anyway, super, super lather. And it's like actually got sugar in it and it's like exfoliating. It was so good. And I got out and put the body lotion on. It was like butter. It was so nice. I love it. So anyway, I was super excited.
Isn't it
Whipped sugar soap.
I want it.
Body wash. It was like body wash. That's what it was like. It was like the Dove body wash you buy in the grocery store. It's so good.
What's going on, Stuart?
Hey, Stuart.
Thank you so much for jumping in here.
And so I love it. I was super excited. And you can actually go online. I asked her, I said, well, can people go online and buy this? And she said, yes, because I thought this would be such a great, I don't have her business card. Oh, it's in here. It'd be such a great thing to look at and buy. And the thing is that a lot of her products have CBD in them. So when you use CBD on your body, it actually can help relax and help just basically it can help with your skin. It can help overall with a lot of things. Look up the benefits of CBD oil in your body wash and body lotions and things like that. I'm going to put up the thing.
It makes you feel loose.
No, it doesn't. Get Eric.
What?
Loose? It makes you feel loose. Did you just say that?
Yeah, man.
Don't say that. Living
I don't
life.
know. Why do you get mad every time I make that comment?
naturesway.com.
All
you
right.
can go there and livinglifesnatureway.com and check out all the things she's got. I just love it. I thought it'd be such a cool thing to make a little gift basket for. I know I am not scratching my face like a maniac. She even gave me a facial scrub. And last week it was like,
what did you put on your face last week?
It was I don't even know. It was just another face lotion that I had just got. And I was like, oh, this is good. It's natural. It wasn't natural. It wasn't natural enough. If you put CBD on your body, do you have the munchies later? Maybe. I don't think so. I haven't had the munchies and I used it yesterday, so I'm good. Although I am drinking my CBD water, so I'm just chilling tonight. Anyway.
Of course you're chilling.
So anyway, I love it. I love to be able to support local people. And this lady is the nicest lady. You can go check it out there. You don't have to buy anything, but just go check it out because supporting small businesses is super awesome and the way to go, especially when you are going to shop for the holidays that are coming up. CBD oil literally helped my stepmom recover from almost being in a wheelchair due to multiple sclerosis. It's so true. Oh, I'm working on batch while I listen. Thank you so much, JJ. Okay, so here's this too. Y'all probably have known, I don't know if you know, Kelly over at Roost and Rescue. Roost and Rescue is another channel here on YouTube. And a couple weeks ago, she reached out and she was like, hey, everybody, I have a store. Y'all need to go check it out. I'm looking to try, I need to try to make some money here. And I'm not down for handouts. I just want to be able to sell some of my products. And so I was like, oh, girl, let me see what you got. Well, she has a lot of essential oils. And so I went over and I bought a couple things from her to support her and her family because I know that she sells homemade essential oil balms and salves and things like that. CBD oil helps with inflammation, doesn't make you high in any way. Exactly. Thank you, Caleb.
What is he like trying to sell stuff?
He's trying to help me out. See, he's trying to help me out.
Is he a runner or something?
No, what? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Of product.
So anyway,
I mean, like,
so my family has a history of psoriasis, and I oftentimes, when I get super stressed, I get little tiny patches of psoriasis, which is like a dried skin on my back or on my arms, and sometimes even my kids sometimes get them on their elbows. Well, it is a family. I don't know if anybody's selling anything, Carmen. If not,
you can bring stuff. You can have them. Merch table or whatever. Or
yeah, thanks, Jocelyn. Caleb over here, like, it's not weed, Mom. I know, but he messes it so bad. We be moving. Yeah, thanks, Caleb. Ricky's craving Cheetos now. Great. Anyway, Kelly over at Roost and Rescue. She actually, if you go check out our channel, she has links to this stuff. And let me tell you, I got a psoriasis salve. It smells
hang on
good.
a second.
What do you like?
What is this? What is this emoji? I can't see it.
The cheddar, maybe? I don't know.
No, it's bricks.
It's brick. Oh my gosh. So she made, so if you go to Facebook at Homespun Lotus, this is the psoriasis salve. It smells like some essential oils. I can't really smell it too much right now. You're like sniffing it like, what is it?
I know I've had it before. I'm trying to think what it is.
This is a psoriasis salve. I got a healing balm and then I got a bug be gone lotion. So you can actually rub it on your body before you go outside. And it helps with the bugs. But she uses essential oils, and you can see right there, it's just like a lotion you can rub on your body for the, you can say you're craving bacon. Oh my gosh, you guys. But anyway, you can go check out what Kelly does at Roost and Rescue. And these are like nice glass jars, and they would be really pretty to gift. I mean, just such a pretty, see if I can do it. There it is, Bug Be Gone. And you've got the other ones. That's the healing lotion, things like that. And they're all essential oils, natural essential oils. And if you want the full label, she could probably tell you kind of all what's in there in case you're allergic to something. Why did I just try to smell it? You did. You just tried to smell. I held it up. You were trying to sniff it. Yeah.
Smell it, guys.
That one actually smells like the doTERRA or doTERRA's. It's doTERRA. What is it? The Terra Shield. I think that's what's in the Bug Be Gone.
Let me smell it.
That's what's gonna help you with the bugs. Smell it. It's the Terra Shield. She uses doTERRA oils in her stuff, which is awesome because I know that they have good quality oils. But yeah, and so you can go to Homespun Lotus, and I'm going to write it here in the thing. So go check it out because these are really great gift items, and these are really fun to put into. I know this is QVC tonight. No, it's just really cool to put in your gift baskets and things like that. So I'm done. Support local is all I'm trying to say because it's a really cool thing when you support your small businesses and you're supporting families. You're supporting, local people. And, Kelly's got a lot of kids. She's got to make that shadow. See right there. Homespun Lotus. I'm putting it on there.
Yeah.
But
how many easy payments do you think for a bag like that?
Oh my gosh, get out of here.
Do you work in installments or
hey, you know what? Kelly
is
a huge supporter of so many people on YouTube and in the social media world. And she would come out and do anything. If you asked her to come in here and moderate or do things, she would totally do it and spend her time doing these things. So it was really cool to be able to help her out and help out a fellow YouTuber.
And
a fellow mom.
Holidays are coming up. Mm-hmm. And there's sense of waiting until the last second.
There you go. Yeah. Be a good steward. Spend your money on things that are worthwhile.
So I was going to say that real quick. So Carmen over here.
That's it. QVC's over.
Carmen's over here sniffing the screen because she's trying to get to the lotion, right? So because it's Mom's birthday, I decided I was going to send a happy birthday gift to her through text, right?
GIF, not a GIFT.
GIF.
Yeah, GIF.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was trying to send a gift to her,
mm-hmm.
and I found one for the happy birthday where it says on the count of 3, blow on the screen, and it was like a candle. So it was like 3, 2, 1, and I was like, I want to send that to Mom so bad to see if.
Did she do it?
I don't know.
Did you send it?
I didn't send it.
Sharon, did you? Oh, you didn't send it?
No, I didn't send it. I didn't want to embarrass her.
Who would she be embarrassed by? Well, you think your dad was watching her like, did you sniff the screen?
Do you know our kids? Because if you know our kids and you know my siblings and they found out about that,
well, you think she would have told everybody?
Dude, that would be like that story we heard about Aunt Gail and how she fell out of her shoes. It would live in infamy.
Well, you were talking about sleep and she's talking about how sleepy she is. I was thinking about it last night, actually early this morning when I was awake this morning with the kitten.
With the stupid cat.
With the kitten. That I really wanted. And she keeps me awake super early in the morning. And it's insane.
I love smell-o-vision.
Yes.
Going old school.
Well, needless to say, I was sitting here thinking this morning at is anybody else like insomniac? So I don't think I'm necessarily an insomniac, but I must be somehow. Because here's the thing. Are you
talking about what you did for me last night?
What did I do?
The high dreams.
Oh, so yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit. So
holy mackerel.
There's a channel that comments on a lot of people's videos.
Wait, are you going to tell that first or the Somniac thing?
So it's kind of they go hand in it.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Ready?
Yes.
I spend time with Eric at night. Rich, I got my scratch and sniff, whatever. Yeah.
I got my scratch and sniff screen on,
sugar smells great.
Your sugar scrub smells great.
Okay, so last night, Eric and I were laying there watching the show. We watched, I happened to watch the rest of Virgin River 2 nights ago. So we're not watching Virgin River anymore because I watched 3 episodes without him. But here's the thing. We didn't have a TV in our room up until we moved here. When we moved here, we had a TV in our room. That was the first time we ever had a TV in our room in our entire years of marriage. So it was one of those things that, we got used to it. Now, Eric will fall asleep. Yeah, right there, Rich. Eric will totally fall asleep to watching a show now. He'll either turn on his YouTube or something is on the screen. He cannot fall asleep without the screen.
No, that's not true.
Okay. He doesn't sleep well unless he's falling asleep with the screen.
Because when you were on vacation, guess what I was watching?
Nothing?
That's right.
Okay, well, I don't necessarily need to watch TV because what happens is I watch a show. It's 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I turn the TV off and then I can't sleep. I'm awake. Although I have to say, I am thinking about the best things in life. Like I'm writing my autobiography at 1 a.m. I'm planning lessons for like the next 3 years of my kids. I'm thinking about all the curriculum I'm going to get.
What's in
I'm
your
planting
autobiography?
gardens in my, I don't know. I'm writing my whole life story. I'm thinking about all the different animals we need to get, when we should process them. I'm making appointments in my head. I am planning my best life at 2:00 in the morning.
Do you put like pen to paper, or this is just in your head?
That's the problem. I think of the most, I have the best content. You should hear some of the videos I think of at 2 in the morning. I can't remember when I wake up because I finally fall asleep at like 3:00 in the morning. And then by 5 a.m., I'm awake again with this cat. And then I'm like, yes, this is the life. What did I think about last night? And I'm like, I don't remember what I thought about last night. Like I thought about all these great things I was going to talk about. I don't remember any of them because I live like literally my best life between like 1 and 3 a.m. I really need to get like a recorder. I just need to turn my phone on and start recording stuff. Anyway, last night, we don't have a show to watch anymore because I watched all of Virgin River. And so I told Eric, he's like, I'm really tired, but I'm not. And I said, hey, let's watch High Dreams. He's like, what? What do you mean? I said, no, he puts these videos out and you can listen to like, it puts you to sleep and blah, blah, blah. He's like, really? Thanks, Rich. 4,000 pages of incredible content. Anyway,
I'm just surprised to hear her say that she's writing her audio, whatever.
Yeah, my audio biography. It's where I'm just talking straight. Boom, right there. That's the best way to do it.
It probably is audio. That's why I keep getting woke up.
Yeah, full audio. So we turn on the High Dreams and it's on. Everything's great. And it's a 30-minute like sleep thing with this like megahertz wavelength thing. Eric's like, huh? He like goes out. He is boom asleep. And I was like, this is like magic. Where was this when I was like literally having little kids that I need to put to sleep? This could have worked magic. So just a note, if any of y'all are out there and you can't sleep, go watch the High Dreams.
What is this poor Monica?
This has nothing to do.
No, not poor Monica.
TV in my bedroom runs my YouTube watch list later every night. When I see alerts, I put it on the list and it's the only way I can keep up with so many wonderful channels. Oh, that's really cool. And Ricky said it's a GIF, not GIF. The G is silent. Wait, soft. It's soft, not silent.
What?
It's a GIF.
Maybe that's a Minnesota thing. We're going to have to cover that.
We'll have to discuss that in a few
minutes. We're going to have a full conversation about GIFs or GIFs.
I think he's smart, though, so I don't think you want to fight with that one.
Oh, I don't doubt that he's smart. I'm watching him in the green screen room right now, and he's like...
You called it a green screen room?
Whatever. Why are you picking on me about my language tonight?
Look, Gwen says, my husband is asleep as soon as his head hits the pillow. So aggravating. Yeah, for real, though, I am literally up. And then I'm up at like 5 a.m. And then the cat now has me awake from like 5 to like 7:45, 8 a.m. And then I fall back asleep for maybe a half an hour. And then the kids are up going to work, doing their thing. And so, yeah, I don't sleep really. And so by the time I'm here on Thursday nights, you know I'm yawning. This is why I'm yawning.
Because you get bored listening to yourself?
Never. But because I'm sleepy, because I don't sleep. Okay, wait a second. Let's see. Oh, no.
Anytime I can't sleep,
Thanks,
I pray
Ryan.
or go through my emails and start printing free homeschool sheets. Nathan gets so mad. Our printer is so loud. 2 a.m. printing. Amen.
I do the same. You can't say that because our printer is in here.
No.
But yes, I do the same thing. I will print out homeschool sheets. I ordered curriculum last night while I was in my awake zone. I did get something accomplished. I ordered our curriculum for chemistry this year. So I was really excited. So needless to say, I did get things accomplished, but I am literally living my best life at like 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And then by like 8 a.m., I'm like, I'm not productive. I'm not productive. I am not a morning person, y'all. I am not.
When does your non-productivity start?
When does my non-productivity start? At like 5 a.m. And then it goes till about noon. At noon, I get like a jolt of, hey, I'm already awake. I'm going to be awake all day. I might as well do something with my life. So that's usually, when we start school and stuff, because we've already taken care of the animals and things like that. So okay, so before we go to Ricky, because he's coming up here in just a minute.
Got Troy up in here.
Hey, Troy. So y'all probably know, I'm teaching chemistry. Jocelyn, I'm teaching chemistry. Okay, so y'all know Heavenly Hills Homestead with Ryan. We had him on our show months ago. Well, he is a big shot in the hills of West Virginia. Okay. He's a big shot because he likes to
but we had him on our live.
Yeah.
Don't forget
he
that.
likes to snatch up all these like records to like all these things that, grow in vegetables and stuff. So let me show you. Let's see if we can pull this up before Ricky comes up here. So that way our computer doesn't
It's
jam
on
up. I know I wanted to pull the information up. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with the Chrome tab. Look at what we got a picture of from our friend over. Are we sharing? I'm looking to see.
Oh, hang on.
Is it coming up? Oh, I just removed it. Shoot. Added it. Oh, I was trying to add it to the screen.
You're moving too fast.
Okay. Add to the stream. I'm going to try it again. Ready? So this is what we got from our friend Ryan. He sent us this picture. This is his eggplant. He is currently holding the record for, he has got, let's see.
What is it? It looks like a bowling ball.
It's an eggplant, y'all. It's an eggplant. And this, he said, right as of right now, he holds the most state records in West Virginia with 5 state records. Are you serious? That's so awesome. And so this is his eggplant. And if he gets 2 more, supposedly he will hold the most state records at one time in the USA. So this is his eggplant. Okay. And then he's got, let's see if I can get back to it. He's got over here. Oh, I got to go back this way because it's, burp.
What are you doing?
Going to his stuff here. Okay, ready? Oh my gosh.
You're just showing everybody everything.
Oh, I did that one. Oh shoot, I gotta go the wrong one. Okay, let's try to go this one. Just stop. Give me a second.
I'm just watching.
The long green,
Just
he said they're a long gourd and an eggplant. So we're gonna pull up the long gourd now. He said the long gourd is measuring over 100 inches long, and the eggplant is neither one of them are done growing, but they're already bigger than the state records. So basically, if he gets 2 more state records, then he will hold all the most state records at one time in the United States. Look at that. Look at that. Over 100 inches long, the long gourd.
And by the way, that's more than 8 feet, by the way.
That's insane. That's crazy. I am thoroughly impressed, Ryan. So yeah, congratulations, Ryan. That's awesome. I am super excited about that for you. I think that's really cool. And yeah, let's cheer him on. Maybe he'll be a record holder with the most records held at one time in the United States. And we can be like, we know him.
We know him.
We know him. He was on our
live.
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
we share.
Hey, Raquel.
We share the fact that we're both West Virginians.
Oh, yes, you're a West Virginian. Crazy. Oh, Rich said, congrats, Ryan. He thinks he holds the record for the largest weed bed. I venture to say that I could probably almost beat you on that record right now. Although your garden's much bigger than mine. But yeah. So let's see. Bar Run Forge is in here. Cottonwood Ranch is in here. Let's see who else. Oh, Suzanne Goulet. I'm going to just say that's Suzanne.
That's Suzanne.
Welcome. I'm glad that
Suzanne sounds
Brampton
fancy.
Gardner sent you over. Hey, Wayne, how are you? We are doing great. We just showed Heavenly Hills Homesteads 2 massive garden wins right now. Eggplant and a long gourd, and it's awesome. I mean, so cool. The long gourd would feed a chicken group of 80. I know where he could send it. That's true. Yeah, it would feed a lot of chickens.
How would you pack that thing up? You know the FedEx boxes that are triangular in shape? They're usually about 3 foot long.
Yeah, it would have to be that's a crazy box. Oh, like that big the water pole thing, the watering thing. That was a really big box. How
The what?
The watering thing that I got for the outside for the barn. The water pipe.
Oh,
was that 7 feet, 8 feet?
The water valve.
The water valve. There you go.
Freeze-proof water valve.
There you go. So that's a big box. So you could ship something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, easily. It's not done growing though. So
yeah.
They'll have to put it on the back of an 18-wheeler just so they, don't break it.
Well, Troy bush hogged his garden patch day, and Rich reminded me that the weeds would be a lot lower if I'd sleep and be productive at the right times.
That's a very good point. I love the way Rich
I should go
thinks.
outside and just weed at 2 a.m. That's what I'm thinking. Man, the weeds have blossomed after that good rain. I get out there and picked baby weeds every morning. Yeah, I don't have baby weeds anymore. I have Goliath size weeds. My weeds are like Goliath, and I am David, and I'm not very it's hard out there. There's a lot going on. We should have a contest next year. I'll supply the seeds.
Hey, there you go.
Ooh, that might be interesting.
What kind of contest? Let's give you time to think about things.
Think about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Planning ahead.
Let me know, Ryan. So, okay, well, I think it's about time.
Mr. Wayne Heights is in here. I don't know if you said hi to him.
Yeah, you electric tape it to a 1x6. There you go.
Electric tape it.
They got to ship vault poles somewhere. That's true, Rich. Although I always thought that they put them together. Like, they're not one piece, right? Don't they put them together?
I don't know. Well,
our garden was so wet that Eli got the bobcat stuck in it yesterday. Oh my goodness.
How do you do that? I thought them things were near impossible to get stuck.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, actually, with all the rain we had, they've lifted the burn ban for Hunt County.
Oh, it's time to start burning some
boxes.
They
lifted the burn ban for our county. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? That's crazy. But that's a good thing because that means we're not in drought anymore. That's severe enough to keep the burn ban on. So yeah, that's cool. Bye, Carmen. See you in a couple days. So yeah, I think it's time to bring up our guest, Eric.
Yes, let's add him to the stream.
Ricky Ventures.
What's up, Ricky?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Going good.
Hello from Minnesota.
Yeah. Did you see that on my thumbnail? I put that on our thumbnail. That
didn't actually. I've been so busy all day. I didn't even. Shame on me. I didn't even put it on my community tab. I didn't advertise at all. But hey, sorry.
That's completely okay. Look, it was super last minute, but I actually put on there. It was so funny because I did it and I said saying hello from Minnesota. Ricky's channel for fun adventures you can follow along with. And I was thinking that I did that at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or whatever time it was.
She's productive.
But the bad thing is that I had a brain fart and I was like, after I did it and I was so proud of myself, I'm sitting there going, he is from Minnesota, right? I mean, it says Minnesota. He's like, hey, from Minnesota. Yeah, it's Minnesota.
There's Oklahoma flag back here, so.
See, you don't throw me off, right? So this is, I was racking my brain after I put it up, after I sent you the link and had the really cool thumbnail. I was all excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, if he's not from Minnesota, I'm gonna feel like a jerk.
Yeah,
it was a moment.
Definitely in Minnesota, so that you got that one right.
Yeah, I was pretty happy when I looked it up this morning to double check. I was too out of it last night to actually go back and look it up. I was like, oh, well, I'll figure it out in the morning. But yeah, I was really happy that I got it right at 1 or 2 a.m.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate you inviting me. So,
well, thank you for coming last minute.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to reach out to you, and work for me lately has been stupid ridiculous. I think that's why our lives are more shoot from the hip now, opposed to when we first started and I had a full-on agenda that we would follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, Monica doesn't like to follow rules, so
not really.
I see. Jeannie Lipsky says hi. Hello, Jeannie, and hello, Brampton Gardner. Bar and Forge.
When Eric started doing lives, he would have a whole list of questions. He would email it to the guest ahead of time, and I'm like, that's not my life. That's not my world. I'm so sorry. You can do that, but I'm good. I'm gonna set up the thumbnail, and I'm gonna set up the StreamYard, and I'm gonna show up. So yeah, thankfully, Eric is more organized than I am.
It's all good.
Yeah, work's been keeping him busy.
So we need to get right into the first order of business, which is the gift slash GIF.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like you've done research on this. You look like you want to just drop a knowledge bomb on us.
I don't know if it's bugged me or what, but I know that the general population calls it GIF, which is how you would normally pronounce a word that's with 3 letters like that with a vowel in the middle, right? But if you actually go research it on Google and look it up, right, the creator of the format purposely named it GIF after the peanut butter company, but he named it GIF, and the only reason I know that it's called GIF is because a long time ago, before Facebook or before the internet even existed really, and Facebook and everything else that's out there, I used to run a bulletin board system in Oklahoma City when I was in high school, and back then bandwidth was pretty tight, so people were using modems and things where you didn't have high speed internet access, right? It was all calling people through your telephone. It reminds you of watching war games, right? When the guy calls and breaks into the Department of Defense with the telephone, right? That's really how it was back then when modems. And so back then, you didn't have video, but you did have a lot of pictures and things. And so it was all the pictures were all GIF formats back then on the bulletin board systems. So yeah, that's kind of how I know where it, back then everybody said GIF because it was all just a computer people doing it. And then when it became more popular in the general population, people pronounce it more phonetically how it looks, right? So people say GIF now instead. So, but if you go Google it, you'll see that the creator wanted to call it a GIF.
I pulled it up and it says the creator of the GIF image format, Steve Wilhite of CompuServe, when deciding the pronunciation, he deliberately chose to echo the American peanut butter brand Jif. And CompuServe employees would often say, choosy developers choose Jif at a play off the TV commercials. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's that. But the general population knows it as GIF, right? That's what they all say. So, and there's no right or wrong way to say it. I think if you look it up in the dictionary, I think it says you can say it either way, right? So.
Wow, that's cool.
You know, it's kind of like words that you had said for so long, and then you realize you said it wrong. You know, so being in the building industry that I'm in, you have potable and non-potable water.
It's not potable?
Yeah.
Well, it was.
I call it portable, right? Is it portable?
Right. Well, that's the proper pronunciation. And I had a property manager once tell me he's like, it's potable and non-potable. I was like, what are you even talking about, woman? I've run buildings. I know what I'm talking about. And then
apparently you don't.
And then we got online and looked it up, and I'm like, well, I refuse to say it like that. I'm not going to.
You said you refused to say it like that. That's
well, because
hilarious.
I don't know. It feels weird now when you say it a certain way for so long. So even like GIF, I would just feel like the weirdo, like all the kids.
Saying GIF, right?
If I said GIF, then the kids would be like, nah, that's an old man. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You probably would get that because, you know, that's like I said, that's how the general, that's, when you look at it phonetically, that's how you would pronounce it, right? So.
That's crazy.
Right.
And I say, I only know this because, like, my original, I have a computer science degree. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but.
Ooh.
Wait, I thought you were in the medical field.
I am. I'm also a registered nurse, but I got my computer science degree first. So I was a computer geek growing up, you know, pretty much, you know, middle school to high school. Was doing all this geeky computer stuff. So I knew I wanted to go become a computer scientist. So I got my first degree in that. And then many years later, I went back to school and got my registered nurse degree in nursing several, you know, that's at least 15 years ago now. So yeah, I've got both degrees behind me. So
that's awesome.
And in today's world, I use them together in my current occupation. So it's a little bit mix of engineering and it's a little bit of mix of nursing and the stuff I do today. So I don't know if you guys want to go down that route or not, but you know, it's.
Well, no, this is a show all about you. So we'll talk about anything, even hair products if you care to.
It's just shampoo. That's it. So shampoo and conditioner. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have a question for you. So when you first started your channel, what was your intention when you started your channel?
That's a good one. That's a good story. So I started it back during the whole pandemic thing, right? Back in 2019. I think it was 2019. Maybe it was, what year is it now? 22?
Yep.
I don't think I actually published my first video. I've been up for a year and a half, I think, since I've actually published my first video. But I started thinking about it in the pandemic era, right? Mm-hmm. I've made videos for a long, long time for my family. As you know, the flag behind me over here, I'm originally from Oklahoma. That's where I grew up as a kid. I met my wife in college when I was getting a computer science degree. She was from Minnesota, so after college, I moved here. And so I've been in Minnesota ever since then. But growing up, having the kids and stuff, I filmed everything because I was always sending it back to my parents in Oklahoma so they could enjoy the moments of the kids growing up, right? So that's kind of how it started out, was just me making family videos. You know, first it was pictures, and then it moved into videos. And then I started sharing that with my friends and family and stuff, right? And then, like, several years before I started YouTube, one of the guys at work was like, you should put this stuff on YouTube. And I'm like, nobody wants to watch this stuff. And it's got copyrighted music and stuff in it too. I said, so I couldn't do that anyway. but then when the whole pandemic thing happened, I'm sitting at home. I'm like, I need to do something. And we were bantering around with the kids, and I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And the kids were all thought I was crazy. It's like, nobody wants to watch some old white guy on YouTube, Dad. Right. So I was like, so it kind of became a challenge in the sense that too. And so I just started, I said, I'm going to do it. And so when I started it, I knew nothing about YouTube. So the first thing I do is I went out and I went and bought a bunch of books, started reading how do you use YouTube, right?
You didn't get dummies for YouTube or something like that, right? Or YouTube for dummies?
I don't think that's one of them, but I bought like 3 or 4 books and read them, right? So I read them, like, what are the strategies of YouTube? How does it work? And then I started actually watching some channels, and one of the channels I really started watching a lot was Stony Ridge Farmer, which I've actually had on my channel, which I haven't been doing lives lately. We can get into that later if you want, but so I had Stony Ridge Farmer on a live, and I was talking to him about, because he's a big channel now. He's got 750,000 subscribers now, I think. I was like probably less than 100 at the time when I reached out to him. I was surprised he responded to me. But so I talked to him about some things about how it goes, and he really didn't. He didn't promote me in any way. He didn't like promote me on his channel, so he wasn't going to give me an easy, I'll get you 1,000 subscribers type thing, right? He's like,
yeah.
He just kind of gave me some tips and said, go for it, do what you want to do, and see how it works out. So then after a while, I started thinking about, okay, well, what am I really going to do on YouTube as far as content? And I was discussing with the kids, like, what should I name the channel and what should it be about? And when you're reading all these books on YouTube and watching stuff, they always talk about, you need to niche down, or find your niche, right? You got to go, like, for example, you guys do a lot of homesteading and prepping information, right? So you're kind of in that niche, right? And the more I thought about it, I was like, I didn't really want to do that, right? I didn't want to be like, my channel is all about, I'll say hiking, for example, which I do some on my channel, right? But my channel is not just hiking, right? I go visit places other than hiking adventures, and I do stuff up north on my land up north, and I hunt, and it's really just me living life. And so that's when we kind of came up with the idea of, we were going to call it Ricky Adventures, but when I looked on YouTube, there were other channels that were already named that. And I was like, well, that doesn't quite work out. So then we ended up with the name Ricky Ventures in the end, right? So that's kind of where it came from. So, and it's kind of a play on the word adventures at that point. So that's kind of how it ended up.
Well, I like it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Well, I was going to say I feel like when we first met you, I don't know how to really describe it. I felt like there at some point in time there was like a transition in your content where it was like just life around the house type thing, and kind of things that you were doing, and then it went into where a lot of the hiking or the walking through. I guess walking through and hiking is the same thing, but
right,
through different national parks, and then it all the stuff that you did at the I forgot what the thing was called, where they had the ice sculptures and things like that.
Yeah, that was really cool,
the
too.
snow carving. Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like it was kind of cool because I felt like, I don't know, I feel like at some point in time you should feel like you're growing in the content and kind of like finding your, is it niche or niche?
Right, niche. Yes. Yes, I think it's actually niche. I think you're probably right.
I don't know.
We don't know. We had this conversation before too. We don't know.
That one I did look up, and
okay.
I think it pronounced both ways. But either way, I was just being funny. But no, I mean, but I feel like at some point in time you got to find that in your channel, right, where you're really able to kind of zero in and figure out. Because I know for us when we first started, we had like an idea or a vision of what we wanted to do, and then it kind of morphed into homesteading. And I think that had to do more with when I was posting more on like Instagram or something like that. I kept posting stuff about ranches and cattle and things like that.
Okay.
And nobody ever looked at our stuff, and somewhere along the line we hashtagged homesteading or something, and all of a sudden these people started kind of paying attention to what we were doing, and so I think that's kind of how we kind of
I,
found out.
I agree with you. There's a bit of, I guess I would call it experimentation going on, and I'm still doing that today. I'm still experimenting with stuff today. It like during the wintertime, I did a lot of stuff at the Mall of America, right? Did a lot of filming there, and a lot of showed all the different things you could do at the Mall of America. And then this summer, I did a lot of filming at Valley Fair, which is a local amusement park, right? Which has nothing to do with hiking or being up north, hunting, right? So let's say again, it's all these different things, and I agree with you that you don't want to niching down, whatever you want to call it, is a good point, because I think the people that want to watch the Mall of America stuff and the stuff at the amusement park don't want to watch me hunting a bear in the woods, right? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they're probably different groups of people, right? But I still don't want to do that, right? Because I enjoy doing both of those things.
Yep.
And so I just want to keep it as my adventures, right? And to me, it gives maybe even a little bit of an aspect of, you might be surprised as what you might find on my channel, right? Not every time I post something, it may not be something you're that interested in wanting to do, but other times you might find something that you think is really, really cool, and like, oh, this is something I didn't think about doing. I mean, 2 weeks ago I was at for Labor Day, I was up north, and there's a local mud bog that happens up there. I went to the mud bog and did some filming at the mud bog, right? Like, that has nothing to do with hiking and going to an amusement park, right? So it's really just about me going on my adventures at this point. So that's probably going to be that's probably going to be what it's about until maybe I go some other direction in the future. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's cool, and that to me, that's what's fun about a channel like yours, is because you don't know from week to week, video to video, what exactly you're going to get,
right,
except for it's going to be an adventure. And
yeah,
so
exactly.
Do you have a drone, by the way?
I do. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I've used it. When I first started out, I used it a lot in some of my earlier videos.
Yeah, I think so.
But I haven't used it as much lately. One, I need to get some work done to it. It's throwing an error. It still works, but it's throwing that error. So that concerns me that I'm gonna crash it. I think it's throwing an ECU error or something like that, and I can't get it to clear. I think it's got 2 ECUs in it, so the backup one's running at least. But when I did that stuff, I put a lot of production work into it, and I didn't feel like I was getting the value back from people watching it. Like, I put a lot of effort into it, to behind the scenes to product it, and I felt like I just didn't get the value out of it. And so I kind of backed away from some of those things, and I've kind of changed the style of what I'm filming and where I'm filming at to make it easier for my production on the back end, because I've only got so much time in the day, right? So if I get to the point where I get more interest in those videos doing that stuff, then maybe I'll up that back up, but until I can see more interest in people enjoying it more, I don't know if it's worth the time and effort at the point, right?
Yeah. I feel like
Go ahead.
for me, everybody knows I like my drone, but I feel like I'm at the point now with a lot of the videos that I do. It's really about what I want to see and what makes me excited about it. I think that, and again, that going back to your channel about the adventure piece of it, because you have to like what you're doing. And
Yeah,
I feel like
totally.
a lot of times people do get into that box where they only do X, and then they just get either burned out or bored of it or whatever. And I don't know, but if you're doing what you love to do, and so that's
Don't
for
let it
me.
wear away.
But for me, with the whole drone thing, is I love adding different angles to what people
Yep.
see. It's kind of like the video I was working on over this past week and a half, which was our
Last chance cook off,
Last-
barbecue thing.
last chance cook off. And what was really cool about that was the aerial shot there's 2 aerial shots in there. One of them is done by my 10-year-old son.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be able to see. I just kind of gave him some direction of like what I wanted to see.
He didn't crash it. So
There you go.
good.
You crash a couple times and you're just known as the crasher.
You are the drone killer.
I hit a tree with mine once. I was about 50 feet up probably, and I hit a tree.
Maybe that's why
and
you
it-
have an error.
and it dropped, right? But it didn't hit the ground. It actually recovered, like probably 10 feet before it landed. It hit the ground. I was super impressed that that it recovered itself. It's like, wow.
Then
It's true, Raquel.
you're clearly not crashing correctly, Ricky.
I guess not.
Look, Raquel's calling you out. He likes filming other people's farms and letting people think it's his. Yeah, like when he recorded the buffalo, he got like all this beautiful
Bison.
footage of the bison or whatever.
It's bison.
And people are like, "Oh, you have bison?" I'm like, "No, we don't have no bison. He just likes taking pictures of."
No,
his-
that's a state park in Minnesota. That's where that's at. So, and
There you go.
that's what you saw. Old Swedes Farm in here talking about. I go to a lot of Minnesota parks and do a lot of filming there. That's a lot of the hiking stuff I do, and even do it in the wintertime. And I know that you mentioned earlier in the call, like that's those I think are some of my favorite right now. Going out and doing stuff when I'm going on adventures is going to those state parks and hiking in them, especially the North Shore of Minnesota, which I never knew about living in Oklahoma, and I'm not sure so many other people in the United States even know about it either. Right? I learned more about it as I lived in Minnesota about the North Shore of Lake Superior. But it's just beautiful up there. I mean, it's just breathtakingly beautiful. So I like going up there when I can and doing some filming. But it's a long hike. It's a probably 4-hour drive to get up there to do filming, and then you film all day, and then a 4-hour drive back. That's a long day. So I don't get up there as much as I'd like to. But I'm always amazed when I do get up there to do some filming. So.
Well, I have to say, I really like your roller coaster, like your, what is it, the 4K POV, like the point of view videos. That is like the coolest thing. And I don't understand how you don't have more views on them, because no joke, those are the ones that, like, if I'm watching people's channels, Eric's looking over to see it, the one I have on. If I'm watching someone's channels, those are the ones I'm going to watch a few times, especially because I'm a researcher. Okay. So if we're going to go to the state fair, or we're going to go, like, for instance, we took the kids to, what was it, Six Flags over the summer, April of this year. Literally 4 days before we were leaving, he's putting his hands up as the roller coaster goes, stop it. I literally, for like the 3 days before we left to go to Six Flags, we looked up as many videos as we could on the park. We looked up all the different rides we went on. We made a list. The kids made a list of all the different rides that they wanted to get on, because we knew we were going to have a limited amount of time, because it was after Eric got home from work that day. And so we only had a little bit of time. I can imagine why your videos don't have more. I'm like looking at them like, do you use hashtags? Are you hashtagging these things? Because I mean, this right here is such a cool video, and you've got a few of them like this. And I'm like, why do they not have 1,000 views at least, or more?
I don't know. Maybe it's my poor use of SEO, right? My search engine optimization, right? But that, to your point, that is something else that I do.
I'm like, are you hashtagging this stuff? Because
what language was he just using?
Search engine optimization. Well, I told you I read books on this stuff before I started the whole YouTube thing, right?
Smart. Don't.
And one of the things they talk about is marketing of the videos, and so they talk about the search engine optimization. And so when you're posting videos out there and you're making content, well, and I think that's partly because those videos are from Valley Fair, Minnesota, and that's what's in the title and so forth, right? Most people, other than people that live in Minnesota, don't even know that park exists, right? And so if you go to YouTube and you're going to search for something, or if you go to Google, people are just not looking for that, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get hit that often, right? And so YouTube, and you guys obviously know this because you're a small channel like me, YouTube is not good about pushing your content out, I think, as it might be for larger people that'll get more people watching, because YouTube just wants to keep people on the platform, right? I mean it's a business to them, and that makes sense. I'm not knocking them for it at all, right? They want to keep people on the platform, so they want to push videos out to people that people will be interested in watching, will click on it, and will continue to watch and want more and more of. And so they just don't know, like, is this roller coaster video this Ricky Venture guy put out, is that going to really keep people's attention or not? They just, the algorithm just doesn't know, right? Yeah. It's not like it's against you or for you. That's just how it works, right? So I always I do try and think about those things when I post my content. I try and think of what type of thumbnail should I put out there, and I'm pretty bad about thumbnails now. I need to get better at that.
No, I think your thumbnails for all the parks and stuff like that, they're awesome. Because, like, I think of it as like how, as a mom, as someone
Hmm.
that's just watching YouTube, what would grab my attention? And so your stuff grabs my attention enough to go, oh, what is that? Is that a roller coaster?
Well, that's what
And
I'm
then when I
trying to do,
hold
right?
it
Yeah.
over, and when I hold the little thing over and I see just a few seconds of it, I'm like, oh, I'm on that. Like, I'm
Yep.
clicking that.
Well, I'm trying to do it that way, so I'm glad it's, at least working for in your perspective, because that I'm
For me.
trying to do those things, because you only have so much time on YouTube for somebody to even click your thumbnail, and then you have only so much time to, as I would say, hook them into the video, right? Is this something
Yeah.
I want to spend my time watching or not, right? And when you do like Instagram stuff, you have even less time, right? You've got like probably 3 seconds in that Instagram video to either hook them that they're going to watch the whole 60 seconds, or they're not,
Yeah.
right? They're going to go do something else. So I spent a lot of time on that in the background, researching it, doing it, and I'm not doing any of it perfectly, obviously, because I just now got monetized, right? It took a year and a half, and I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the average or if it's better or worse. I just know what it is, right? So
Well, I mean, I feel like we're basically on the same track. We started in the end of 2020, so I guess we're coming up on 2 years. We've only been doing lives and stuff for a year. It was basically a year last year we did lives. We started, and so we've been doing lives for a year, and I think that's what helped
that
our
genie.
watch hours climb little by little by little, and so we didn't have to worry about the whole big catch up after
Same
the
here. Yeah.
numbers.
Yep.
So that was a good thing, but we were just slow growing, and I'm okay with that. People say grow organically. Sounds good to me, because
Yeah.
I mean, I look at someone like Ann Dale, who literally, I feel like she just hit 1,000. I don't know, a few weeks back. I mean, it was months ago, but I feel like Ann Dale just hit 1,000, like what, 4 months ago, maybe. She's already over 5,000 subscribers.
Wow. That's awesome.
I was just looking at her a few minutes ago, and I was like, get out of here, Miss Ann Dale. That's awesome, because when you
Yeah.
grow organically like that, people just love who you are. And I feel like she's got that type of lore about her. People want to see. Yeah, she's at 5.98 thousand subscribers.
That's
Miss
awesome.
Ann Dale. She's almost at 6,000.
Congratulations, Ann Dale.
That's awesome. And I'm like, weren't we just talking about how she was just getting monetized or just getting the things? And that's awesome, because you think, okay, that's good. It's nice to watch your friends.
I used to watch this channel called Laura Farms, and that's kind of where I based off my name off. I wanted it to be something simple, short and simple. Try to describe the channel, which is why I first thought about Ricky Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Her being Laura Farms, right? And so I was like, okay, Ricky Ventures is what I'll go off of. And she grew from like 0 to like 100,000 within a year. And so I almost thought, is it really that easy when I was watching this? And obviously it's not when I got into it. But she's a young girl too, so I think there's probably that perspective of it too, right? Some young girl farming probably can get a lot of people interested in it, right? So I think there's a little bit of that. I mean, I wouldn't call it clickbait, but it just interests people more so, I think. And so I thought maybe that was the average on it, but when I got into this, it was not the average at all. And the other thing that came out of it is the community that we have here, right? That I didn't expect any of that, and and the books don't tell you that. You didn't read any of that. I thought it was going to be me posting videos, people watching them, and then me interacting with those videos with those people. Maybe again, in the next video, say something like "hello" to you or something, right, like that. But it's not like it's like I'm responding to people almost real time on comments and things like that. I've met all these wonderful people in these lives I've been in. I'm like, it hasn't been anything, and I'm sure you guys would say the same. It hasn't been anything what I thought it was going to be when I started, right? I thought it was going to just be me in videos, right? But it's not. Yeah. It's not that at all, right? It really is a community of knowing these people, and you feel like I mean, some of the people like I've ran into just through comments and stuff. Like I ran into this guy named Ken. I forget what his name was. Like he lives in Missouri now. He said he used to live in Minnesota, and he's like thanking me for going to these places in Minnesota and posting these videos so that he can kind of live vicariously through those videos, because he can't go see them anymore, right? And that when I see things like that makes me feel like really good. Like, wow, this is cool. I can show people things that they can never get to go see again, right?
Yep.
And make good memories for them, or revive memories that they have, right? That's I think some of the cool stuff that I didn't expect, right? Those are pretty cool things.
Yeah. I think that's part of the lure about it too right now that I really like, is that for us, we've made a lot of friends. We've built a lot of community friends. And like if, for instance, if we don't see someone commenting on some of our videos or we don't see them show up in other lives, we wonder where they are. And it's, you know, I think Eric said a few months back, I mean, it must have been 4 months or something like that ago. He was like, I haven't seen Ricky Ventures in any of the lives I've been in, a couple lives here and there, because we were doing all kinds of lives. We were always showing up in lives. We were, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. We were hanging out in lives. We would come home. Eric would eat dinner.
That was with my old job, by the way.
That was with his old job. And he would come home. But him being on YouTube at night was a way for him to decompress from that job, because that job was miserable. And it wasn't necessarily.
Well, I'm glad you got out of it.
Yeah, I'm super happy that he got out of it, because now he's busier and he doesn't need to decompress that way. But we were on lives all the times. And then, oh my gosh, Raquel, I thought we made friends, but they didn't send us Christmas cards. I literally have Raquel's Christmas card in my little thing in the house because it got sent back from Canada. I'm sending her one this year. Anyway.
Yeah, I got Christmas cards in the mail too. I didn't send back to everybody. I was bad about that. I was like, again, surprised. Like, really? They sent me a Christmas card? Like,
I couldn't believe that I got it back from
awesome.
Raquel. I was so upset because I thought it was get to her, and it came back in like mid to the end of like January or something. It came back weeks later. I was so mad. I'm like, I'm not going to resend it now. It's like almost February. This is stupid. I was really mad though. But anyway, you've built a community. You notice when people aren't there. You know, you talk to other friends and you're like, wait, where is this person? I haven't seen them in a while. You go check and see if they're going live. You see if they're doing videos again, because it makes you wonder. You know, I was just talking to Eric about Mike and Chelsea were Vision Acres. You know, they were doing lives and they were on places.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. What happened to them?
They're just not posting right now. I see her on Facebook all the time, and I interact with her. I see her posting all the time. It's just that he got busy, and they're you know, they homeschool their kids, and
life takes over.
Life took over, and YouTube is, you know, has to run second to life with family and work, and so yeah, it's fun to be able to keep up with people on the side, but we've really built a community, and I think it's awesome that the Lord kind of put all these people in our lives to really help us kind of navigate the YouTube world, but also to get friendships that you never expected you would have.
Yep. So some of the other things that I've been kind of experimenting with as of late is we're getting ready to go bear hunting. My oldest and I are, and so there's been a lot of content about that late. And again, I know some people are like, I don't want to watch your bear hunting content, right? It's not my thing, and I totally get that. But since I've done that, I've got those trail cameras out there, right? And those trail cameras are just, I was blown away the first time I went out there and checked it, because the trail cameras I have just in general out on the land, I've got them out there year round. On average, I'll get about 100 pictures maybe between checks. Sometimes even less than that. Sometimes it'll be 50 or 25 even, depending on how active things were. The first time I checked that bear camera, there was over like 500 videos on one of them and almost 400 on the other one. I've got two different angles going. To your point, Eric, earlier, I like to have different angles to use for the footage, right? I think that keeps it entertaining and people interested. But I was just like blown away. It's like, I've got all these photos. What am I going to do with all this, right? I've got to go through it all and look at all of it, right? And so one of the things I've done is I started making shorts for September. So I've been posting 2 shorts a day, and I think it'll slow down to 1 short per day. I think probably in a next week, every day now. And I'm just seeing what it does. Like, will it attract more people to the channel? You know, people say putting out shorts will grow your subscribers. Although the subscribers are not necessarily the name of the game now, since I've broke the 1K and got monetized, right?
Yeah, but you're 1.1 thousand, and your Black Bear shorts are getting over 1,000 views on quite a few. And I mean, I'm looking at the one you just posted 4 hours ago already has 3.5 thousand views on that reel. The one with the donut.
I haven't looked at it yet. Yeah, so
the Black Bear Donut, Minnesota, 3.5 thousand views. I literally watched it 4 times just now because it replayed, because it's a really quick short, so it goes boop. Boop,
yep.
Boop, boop.
So it was just an experiment, right? I just converted those into really quick shorts. I've actually queued them all up, so they're all queued up for all of September. But the thing I thought about it, like, are people going to get tired of seeing these shorts I'm pushing out there, or are they going to be okay with it? So at this point, I'm just going to have to see how it goes, right? I've seen people unsubscribe from watching the shorts now too, right? So that could be the case. They could be like, I'm tired of seeing Ricky Ventures post a short of a bear, right?
I think it's neat though, because I don't think people are watching every one of them though.
Right.
You're watching a few of them.
What I was going to say was that it's, I don't know, when you subscribe to somebody, I think unless you've really offended somebody somehow, I don't think they're going to unsubscribe. And if they don't want to see bears, they're just not going to click on it. You know what I mean?
They're going to watch your mud bogging videos instead.
I love mud bogging, by the way. I think it's awesome. Anyway,
to answer Texas Carvana, probably the biggest surprise I've seen on a trail camera is I caught a picture of a moose once, and I've only seen that once. That was cool to see a moose walk by.
This is on you because where you live, you have another property that's like a lot of acreage, don't you?
Yes, that's another good point. Yeah, so I live in Minneapolis proper, or at least in a suburb of Minneapolis. They call it the Twin Cities here because St. Paul, Minneapolis is a twin city, I guess. But that's where I live and work, is in the Minneapolis area. But the land that I own is probably, I don't know, it's 2.5 hour drive north of Minneapolis. It's up north, they call it, and it's a big term you hear in Minnesota. People say I'm going up north, and it's really not people going. I mean, they are going north of the Twin Cities, they call it, or north of Minneapolis. But to me, it's a state of mind, right? I'm going to somewhere that I'm not in the city. I'm in the country. People are around me. Life is just slower and different there, right? And I've got approximately 200 acres up there where I do all the hunting and things like that up there that I take. I'm the caretaker of that land. I've inherited it through my wife's side of the family of being the caretaker of it. So, yeah, I do a lot of, and that's where the bear hunting is happening this year. So.
I mean, you're getting a lot of bears coming through there. It's really fun to see you eat a bite of a cookie and then bait the bears with it. I mean, that's a cool video too. I haven't seen the whole thing in its entirety, but I was kind of seeing it on the side. That's really cool. I'm going to have to play some of these for my kids because this is the kind of stuff that my kids would like to watch too, to be able to see all of this. It's really neat to kind of see the whole process. And, if people unsubscribe to you because it's a bear footage, then they unsubscribe and there's no loss.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not going to worry about it. Right. Yeah.
Look,
I can't please everybody. So.
We have been getting some serious negative feedback for our branding video when we're branding. It's been a lot of video talk the past couple of days. We've been getting a lot of people that come on and they're asking us, why don't we brand with nitrogen? Why don't you brand with liquid nitrogen? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And there's been some nasty comments on our videos the past couple of days. I've gotten a lot more nasty comments. I guess to reduce
the pain for the animal by using liquid nitrogen, I guess, is what we're talking about.
Well, I think the thing is that the whole problem with the liquid nitrogen is they say it's less painful, but you have to not only you lock the animal down in your chute, and then you have to go through the process of shaving the area and then cleansing the area. And so
to get the nitrogen to hit it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Of all the animals already stressed out. Now, usually the chute calms them, but when they're in there for an extended period of time, they're not going to
let me out. Yeah, I'm like you're being tied down, right? So
them with a razor that's or whatever it is. I'm like, no, dude, we do this in our field, in a chute. It's by the barns.
It's just quick in and out, right?
Yes, it's and you're done. I mean, look, they get mad when we ear tag them too, but it's a necessity, and it hurts for a second, and then they're done.
Yep.
And the one we posted, he hollered the most out of all of them. So if you would have seen some of the other ones, hardly any of them hollered the way he did. But we put that one on there because, of course, it's more animation. It's the video.
That's the one that actually recorded properly.
Well, yeah, the other two.
There you go.
He did mess up the one. He had the brand on the one guy, and he moved a little bit, and the brand was like, and so the other one we recorded didn't really turn out very well. But we got a lot of hate from it, and I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. As long as we're still able to put that video out there, it's interesting, it's educational. We're not hurting our animals intentionally. We're doing it so that it's important to have, and it's done. Yeah, freeze branding.
And you can't please everybody, right? I mean, if you try to, it's impossible. So
yeah. Well, I'll watch your beer videos all day. I think that's awesome. I'm gonna have to make sure I show my kids because I love trail cam videos. Those
are some good images on the trail cam videos. They've come quite a distance with quality there, haven't they?
Yeah, the quality is pretty good, and those are mostly, I guess, HD quality videos, right? They're 1080p, right? That's pretty amazing from a camera sitting in the woods running off of batteries, right?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. When I was researching some of the bear hunting stuff, I was reading some stories online about, I think probably 20 years ago even, they didn't have trail cameras. They couldn't get this much information about how well their baiting was going. They'd put up like tripwires and stuff that would be connected to stopwatches so they know what time the bear showed up and left, type of thing, right? Like now I just got a camera I got to put up, and I get all that information now, right? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like trail cams. I can watch them all day.
I want to put a trail cam on the back of my yard or the pasture, and the reason why was because we had some issues with fencing a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now.
Yeah.
So my dad and we went out into the back corner of the pasture, and to my surprise, there were 2 lawn chairs on the other side of the pasture from the neighbors, and now the neighbor behind me has a lot of woods, so you can't see the house. Even in the middle of winter, leaves drop. All you can see is
too
like
deep.
A single light. That's how far away they are, right?
Yeah.
Why would they put 2 chairs right up against the fence, staring
Into our yard.
into the back of the pasture?
They were like sitting facing our back pasture. That was freaky. When he told me that, I was like, no. I mean, we have curtains and blinds and stuff like that, but I was like, y'all need to keep everything shut.
Well, I mean, you can't really see in the house. It's too far away, but I did think
with binoculars you could.
I did think about taking
in my kitchen.
a T-post.
A trail camera. They make T-post stands for them.
About 10 feet off of the fence line,
and write at them.
And then just put like a sign above it, smile or something like that.
Well, if it's me, you probably should just go talk to him and ask him first, because who knows what the situation is, right? Your mind can run wild.
I don't even know if I can find their house.
Yeah, we don't even know what house they would be at, because like the way, I mean, they're so deep in the woods that it's like, that there are plots behind us, but it's just woods with like a house kind of buried in the middle of it.
There you go. Regina Rebooted says she loved bear moose and deer videos.
Yeah.
Well, if you like those videos, there's a lot of trail camera videos on the channel. So again, it's another thing I put out there. It's trail cameras and stuff up there. With the whole bear hunting episode that we're going through right now, we actually haven't been out hunting yet. We will probably go out this weekend. But I've never done this before. I've never bear hunted, so this is the first time I've done it. So I'm kind of learning everything as I go. And now I'm concerned about, like, what happens if you actually harvest the bear? Let's say you get the bear and it's down and you find the bear. But what happens if you're field dressing that bear and another bear shows up at the bait? Because it isn't like you turn off the light at the cafe, like, hey, buffet's over, guys. Everybody go home, right? It's like, what happens if somebody else shows up? Yeah. So I'm thinking about things like that, because I posted some of the videos on the bear bedding, and there was a guy that commented on it that he's in northern Minnesota hunting, and he commented that he got one, and he said there was another bear there that wouldn't leave. Like, and so he was stressed out about, like, how do I take care of the one that I just harvested? The other bear won't leave. It's like, man, I wonder if this is going to happen to me. So it'll be interesting when all that stuff goes down, I guess. So I expect it's my daughter's. It's actually my daughter's permit, so she has to be the one that to take a shot, right? And so I'm assuming she'll be successful because there's so many bears showing up. But then it's like all the things that are going through my head is like the process afterward that I know I need to go through. Yeah. To take care of it afterwards, right? So, and I think she actually wants to take some of it to a taxidermist, and she wants a rug made out of the hide, and I've got to get the meat to a meat processor, because I won't process it myself. I don't have the time or energy to do that, I don't think. So there's all these things that I have to go and play afterwards that people, I guess, don't always think about when you think about going hunting. It isn't just going out hunting. If you're successful, there's a lot more that has to happen after the success, right? To come to the finish line with it all, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's I spend a lot of my time watching TV shows of, like, the Alaskan, living up in Alaska and things like that. And that's one of the things they always talk about is when they put a moose down or something like that, that as soon as it's down, all the smell of that animal is out
will
for
attract
everything.
Right.
Yeah, like the coyotes and the wolves, bears, all sorts of animals that now you have to really contend with and keep your eyes up and
exactly. Yeah.
I think I have stress, especially if you're by yourself.
Well, that's what I say. I have a lot of my wife's family lives up in that area, and so I've already talked to some of them to say that if we are successful, expect a call from me because I'm probably going to want some help.
Yeah.
Right, depending on how big this bear is, and they're a lot more seasoned hunters than I am. They've been doing it pretty much all their life growing up in that area, so they can actually help me get through the whole process, I think. So and everyone I've talked to, they're like, yeah, give me a call, because they're excited. They want to see it too, right? They want if we get a bear, they want to see the bear. So they're all kind of excited as well. So that's probably what will end up happening if we are successful. The next step's going to be call some of my cousins, have them meet me up there. There's a possibility we might have to track it, because even if it's a good shot, bears are big animals. They can travel a ways even after you make a good hit. So there definitely could be a lot more to it other than just a bear shows up and you're done, right? That's not how it's going to work, right? I'm not fooling myself at all that's how it's going to be, right? So,
well, you never know. You never know. It could be just that perfect where you got it. It goes down, and you.
It is. It happens. And I've heard lots of stories of both happening from those cousins. I've heard them say,
"There you go."
That it was right there. It was done. And I've had other ones that you had to go track it, right? So it'll be another adventure for sure. So, and I don't know how much of that I'll. Yeah.
I was going to say that fits right into your channel now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'll be another adventure. I'm not sure how much I'll get filmed. I've been thinking about how I'm going to set up some cameras and angles at least in the stand we'll be in. But I've also been I've been really studying about YouTube as far as how much should I show and how much shouldn't I show. And so I think they have some rules about the actual shot I probably shouldn't put on, right? Things like that. And if it's obviously too bloody or too gory, you probably shouldn't put those things out there. So I'll have to adjust some of those things as to what I'll actually put in video and what I won't. So, yeah.
Well, we're trying to figure that out. So one of the videos that we've had a pretty good traction with is how to process rabbits. And when we turn the monetization thing on, Monica was really.
We had to rate it. So they have these things where you can rate your own videos.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
To rate it as extreme or shock factor, like light shock, or like regular shock, or extreme shock factor. And I'm like, what is this? It's not. We're not doing it for shock value. That's for education. And the light shock value was the educational point. And as much as I wanted to put it as a light shock value, I also realized that it fit with some of the medium, like the pure shock value, where it was talking about what you're showing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to put it as medium, even though I'm not doing it just for the shock value. It's really for an educational content. And I found that people have given me good feedback on that they enjoyed watching it, in the sense of it gave them a lot of educational value. And that's what I feel like was the reason for it. And I just don't want anybody to take it off. I don't want them to be like, whoa, warning, we're taking it off.
And I think that's what that rating system is kind of about, right? That self-rating system. I think YouTube is trying to, they're trying to make sure that you can self-rate yourself properly. Yeah. So the more you do it and the more accurate you do to meet their guidelines, the more they'll be hands off. Otherwise, they're gonna, if they find that you misrate your stuff or misrepresent your stuff, then they'll put automation against it, and you'll just get what you get, and you won't be able to change it, right? So I think you're right to try and probably err on the error of caution, and make sure you're fitting within the guidelines, really. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about as to what I'll put in the video versus not. Because if I put the actual shot in, according to YouTube terms, then I have to say I put the shot in here, and then the monetization of the video will be different versus if you didn't put it in. So there's things like that are going through my head too. But the other thing is, maybe I should put it in, and maybe I don't worry about it being monetized or not, right?
I think on our rabbit video, that's one thing. So there's one thing too, just for knowledge, Ricky, just in case, because it's kind of neat thing. In our rabbit video, Eric explained what he was doing, and then he took a black screen and he said, this is what I did, and he put the animal down. And then he came back to the screen. You can always make the screen go black, and then we can hear what sounds to be a shot. I mean, you can always make a sound. Sometimes that right there is enough value and content to be like, oh my gosh, he did shoot something, or he got something, and so there's definitely a lure of, did he get something,
Right.
I'm watching plenty of other videos where they were like, did I catch, did I shoot this animal, or did I, get the animal that I'm trying to catch and process. And I'm like, oh, did they? And I'm watching the whole video just to see at the end.
That's a good point. Yeah, very good point. Like, and I've got other videos like I said, I've been videoing way before I did YouTube. Like, I've been out hunting with my daughter, who's the primary one that goes out with me. The other kids really have no interest in it, which is fine. They don't, they got other things they want to do. But at least one of the ones will go out with me, which is actually part of the fun, is kind of just hanging out with her in the stand with her. Whether we're successful or not doesn't really matter at that point. But I've got videos of her, taking shots, making a good harvest. And I thought about, like, should I post? I'd have to change out the music and then post those things. But I don't know. I've got enough, because I always thought about, like, well, I have enough content to put things out, right? Mm-hmm. At this point, I'm doing okay with content, trying to post at least twice a week. And then I'm filling in maybe Sundays, like with those POV videos. I don't know how much more of those I'll have, because there's only so many rides I can ride in Minnesota at this point, right?
Yeah.
I thought about going back and maybe doing some from a different perspective, because most of those POV videos are front seat. I thought about maybe, like, what does it look like from the back seat, right? Is it different?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it not, right? So those are things that are going through my brain and thinking about. But back to is, like, I think I will at least, my commitment to myself has always been, when I started out, was like, I can do one video a week, easy. At least I thought I could, and I have been able to. And then I said, okay, well, now I can do 2 videos a week. And that's kind of where I've committed myself. Like, I'm going to put a video out on a Tuesday, and I'm going to put a video out on a Friday. So it's like Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm going to put something out, and Friday at 1 p.m. I'm going to put something out. And I'm sticking to that schedule at this point. And then I'm filling in things with, like, the shorts, and I'm doing some things on the Sundays with the point of views. But that's my current commitment to myself and to my subscribers, is I'm going to try and stick to those 2 videos a week, because I've got everything else going on during the week, right? So all the filming I do is usually on the weekend, right? So it's like I've got time on the weekend to get videos done, and then after production, afterwards, stuff to do. So that's my current plan. Stick with the 2 videos. If I can push out more later. And then I'm always wondering about, do I have enough ideas and content? But I've always got all the stuff. It's like I probably can't get to all the ideas I have in my brain at this point to do stuff. So.
Well, I noticed that you weren't doing lives much anymore. Have you thought about doing them again, or is there a reason why you stopped?
I've thought about getting back into it. It was going okay. The reason I started doing lives to begin with is Stony Ridge said, do a live and I'll come on a live with you.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get him to bring me on one of his lives, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna promote you in that way." But he's like, "If you do a live, I'll come on one of your lives." So that was kind of the reason to get started on it, anyways. And so I did one just to get it out of the way, to get my nervousness out of the way. And then I contacted, said, "Hey, I did a live. I think it went okay. You come on the second one." He's like, "Great." So I did a second live, my second live ever I did with him. And then I started reaching out to other channels, because then I thought, I was thinking just kind of like what you guys are doing. Yeah. I'll start interviewing channels, right? I'll bring them on, and that'll be what I'll do for lives. And I found that it was a lot to try and schedule together. Maybe you guys have probably felt this too, about when to slot people in, when are they available, when can they do it, when they can not do it. And so it just became a little bit too much burdensome, I think, at the time. So I kind of just backed off and stopped. Yeah. And it kind of was a detriment at the time. And I think I was even talking to Cottonwood Ranch. I don't know if she's still here or not, if Raquel's still here or not.
Yeah, I think she is.
But I was getting momentum out of those lives, actually. I think I was growing pretty good and getting momentum out of it. Mm-hmm. And then I stopped, and she even mentioned to me, I think at one point in passing, I don't even know if she realizes it, but she's like, "Well, you stopped doing the lives." And so, because my momentum just kind of crashed at one point. It really just kind of leveled out, and I wasn't really moving for a couple of months, it seemed like. And she mentioned that to me too. She's like, "Well, you stopped doing the lives and your momentum stopped." And I think it kind of did hurt a little bit. And I don't know if I'll get back into it or not. I was kind of thinking that might be something I have to do in the wintertime, because I wouldn't be able to get out as much. Because I wasn't a big winter person when I came to Minnesota. But over the last year, I went out and did so much stuff in the wintertime that I don't think that's going to be a problem this time. I've got other plans. I'm going to go out and do things again in the wintertime. And I think it's nice to show people Minnesota, like, in the cold, right? It really is this cold up here. But it's not like you have to sit in your house and stay huddled up, right? There's plenty of things to actually go do and have fun. So,
See, Eric, you can live your vicarious winter dreams through Ricky's adventures.
yeah.
Right there.
Well, you guys lived in the north. You guys were from what, Massachusetts?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, and it was an M. Sorry.
She's a whiny baby about when it gets cold. So what I'm hearing Ricky say is that even though he wasn't a winter person, he is now a winter person because he realizes he's not going to let a little bit of cold hold him down in the house.
You
That's
know what?
I hear.
I think that's a good point, Ricky, because Eric doesn't like the heat. And now we're in Texas. And I think it's good for you to hear that Ricky has embraced the place that he lives. And he's going out, even though he doesn't love the cold at first, he has embraced the fact that he's in a cold climate. And you too can embrace the fact that you're in a warm climate, very, very warm climate. Get out in the summertime.
I don't know. So I grew up in Oklahoma, so I know the hot too. And we were down there a couple of years ago. The family was down there visiting my family in July or August, I think. And my kids were a little bit younger, a couple of years ago. And my son tells me at one point, because he's used to being in Minnesota, he's like, Dad, how did you grow up in this heat? He's like, how did you survive? So I can kind of feel Eric from that standpoint too, right? So it's a little bit of give and take. There's days in Oklahoma where all you want to do is sit in the house with the air conditioner on because it was too hot to go outside, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I usually mess with her. I try not to complain about the weather because I learned a long time ago that people complain about everything, and I get tired of hearing, because it's like unless it's like Hawaii weather, it's like people find everything to complain about.
I bet you people complain in Hawaii too.
It's not sitting on the coast and on the beach in California or something, right? So.
Right. Yeah, it's too hot. It's too cold. It's rainy. It's not raining. It's misty. I don't know. It's just like stop whining about it. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I think that for us, I don't know. A lot of times I look at like doing lives and things like that. So when I was at a job that it was less challenging, I had more time to mess with stuff like that. And then when I got to the position I'm in now, it was helpful to be able to transition it over to Monica and say, look, if we want to have guests on, you need to reach out to some people because I just don't have time. And so I think that's always been a benefit for us is we help make content together. I'll beg her to make a video every now and again.
Oh my gosh. Look, we're not okay. So our channel is obviously homesteading, right? So we have some videos where I'm cooking and doing things, right? So we're in this great collaboration for September, which you heard about because I know you have a spam video, like where you went to the spam place, and it's in Minnesota, right? Yeah,
it's a. I think it's the second most popular museum in Minnesota. The only one that's more popular than that is the Prince Museum for the music artist, right? So right, but yeah, I was surprised to even realize. I was like, wow, this is the second most popular museum in Minnesota. It's actually pretty cool and free if you want to go check it out.
Well, see, that's the thing. So we're in the spam temper thing, and so we had to do a spam video. So all I want to do is make my people dinner. All I want to do is make these people dinner. And we had to do the spam video because I had said, well, we're just going to have the spam sandwiches for dinner tonight. Oh, my word. It took like an hour and a half to cook dinner because I wasn't just cooking, I was recording as well.
Yes.
And we had to like present what we were doing. So it wasn't like I could be like, all right, guys, dinner. Let's
Here
go.
it is.
And
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a whole production. Eric's like, all right, we're zooming in, we're spinning the camera, we're setting it up. Or can you open this spam?
It's called transitions, Monica.
He's like, can you open the spam like this? Crack it open like this, Monica. No, like this. And I'm like, dude. He's like, take the can, pull the can up slowly, ready, go. And I'm
I like this. The disadvantage I have to all this is it's just me, right? There's nobody there else there. So if I have to get a certain angle, I've got to set it up, then go do it, and then set up another angle if I have to. So that's why I talked about earlier, like when we were talking about earlier, like I used to do a lot of that, and I just didn't feel like I was getting the real value out of people seeing it. Like nobody saw me do all these stuff, right, and spend all this time. So I had to back off from that a little bit and keep the shots more simple, but still hopefully make it enough entertaining for people to enjoy it, because that's all I'm about doing at this point. I'm hoping making stuff that people like, and either I'm entertaining somebody or I'm helping somebody learn something, because that's the other thing that I'm putting out there is like changing the oil in the lawnmower, right, or changing the blades on the lawnmower, or like it's just stuff that I do on a regular basis, but not everybody knows how to do it, right? So if
Well,
you
it's
want
good.
to,
How to install a Ring camera on your door, how to install
right.
your Ring light, your Ring
I put
camera.
I put a video out on how to replace the mailbox, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I had to replace my mailbox, so I filmed it and put it out there, because that's another thing when people go to YouTube. Like, you either go in there for two things: you either go in there to be entertained, or you're going there to learn how to do something, right?
Yep.
And so that's some of the things I also think about as I'm thinking about, okay, what do I want to do next? I'm also kind of thinking in those terms. Is this something that somebody would find valuable, entertaining, might stir up some great memories for them, or is this something that might actually help them learn how to do something, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's good that you're doing what you're doing and it fits you. I think it's fun to see the camera angles that you're doing now. Just what you're doing is good. I mean, what you've got is good content and you've got plenty of it. And I feel like people are watching, and obviously you have the watch hours. That's not,
Yep.
you weren't lacking for
that
watch
wasn't the
hours.
problem. Yeah, it was the
Exactly. So
subscribers.
I think sometimes it's just the fact that people that are watching you aren't maybe sharing it out, or they're not saying, oh my gosh, this dude's awesome, we should see it. Sometimes people just keep their mouth quiet and they don't necessarily share what they like with others. And I'm not that person. I always share with people. I'm like, oh my gosh, you should see this. I talk a lot, but I think that don't be surprised. I know, but I think, I was going to say, I speak all that to say, Raquel, do your thing, do what you do, because honestly, I love that you're back. I saw that you were doing a live the other night.
So she's point shoots.
Monday.
Yeah.
She was doing her Monday Maggie back again. I was so excited. I was like, girl, when I am, because I was busy this past Monday. I think she did it Monday this past week. And I was like, yes, she's back doing her Monday Maggie. I'm going to go check her out. It was fun to watch her lives. And if I can jump in there, you better believe I'm going to. So I think that some of those things you do, find what works for you.
Exactly.
We're going to come alongside you and encourage you that way.
And I think I think you doing you is actually going to help you in the end, right? Because people are going to see that you're enjoying what you're doing. That's going to keep them also. And if you're being fake, people are going to see it. They're going to know it, right? You just can't do it that way. You got to, like you said, you do you, right?
Yeah.
And some people will like it and they'll enjoy it, and some people won't. I think I was even telling my son the other day, like, we were talking about, their family was all excited. I made it to 1K, and I got, they were all excited about that. And then I was talking to my son in the car. It's like, that's cool. I made it to 1K. Okay, now what's next? What are we going to, what's going to be my next goal? And then we were talking about, it's like, I don't think I'm ever going to be that channel that's 1 million subscribers. Like, I just don't see that would ever happen, right? I don't think the content that I have it would be that many people be interested in it. It could happen, but I don't see it, right? Maybe I won't even get to 100,000 subscribers, right? Like, I could see it just staying very, very small, right? So who knows, right? What'll happen in the future? So, but at this point, I'm not even sure. Like, I know that goal was to get to the 1,000 and get your watch hours. Like, that drives you in the beginning. It's like, but now I'm beyond that. It's like I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna do me, and either people enjoy it, subscribe it, and want to watch and come along, or they'll find something else to watch, right? So
yeah, well, and that's true. I mean, that's the thing. You be you. That way, and I think you had a good point too. You said at first, you did it for a lot of times. You just did it for yourself, for sharing with what you were doing with others.
Yep.
And if anything else, even if we stay at 1.07 thousand, whatever, we're not even at 1.1 like Ricky Ventures. But even if we don't ever grow another subscriber from this point, if we're sharing what we're doing, and in the end, in years from now, our kids can go back and look at our channel and be like, dude,
oh, totally, right,
did this, and look at all the things that they did, and look at all the things that they share with our people. And that's what I want. I want people to see what we've done, and I want my kids to go back and look and say, oh, that's a lot of really good stuff. We can go back and see our parents sharing these things that they knew with farming. Sometimes it has to be, this is just our way of doing it. We're not sitting down and telling all the stories, but maybe one day our grandkids can come back and look at some of this stuff and say, wow, look, that's what they had done when they were younger. This is how they learned, and this is what they were sharing. So
yeah. And it's on YouTube. Not that it'll be there forever. One more thing. I know how long you want to go, but I can go longer if you want, but I know we're an hour into it. One of the things that I do too on the backside of everything I do on YouTube is I keep everything that I record, right? So I have all the raw footage, I have the end result, and then I upload to YouTube, because YouTube may be here for the next 100 years. It may not be. I don't know, right? So I keep all this footage behind the scenes, but that also becomes a little bit of burden because the amount of data that I'm collecting now, right? So I've now been investing in NAS drives, backup drives, right? So I've got I've got teradatas of discs running behind me that you guys can't see me right now with all this stuff stored on her, right? So in the future, like I said, if YouTube's not around, at least my family will still have copies of this stuff to check it out, right? So.
And that's important. That's a good way to preserve all the memories of who we are as people and to share them with people in the future. Our family has a lot to look at, and we've got all kinds of stuff here. I mean, we put our kids' wedding on YouTube. We made a YouTube wedding video, for crying out loud. And if anybody enjoys it, at least I was able to share that out with all my family back in Maryland and my friends that watched my kid grow up, and they were able to see that and share in that. And I don't care if that gets more than 5 views. If it was 5 of my family members that got a chance to see it, that's what was important to me, because we are so far away from where our family and where we are from originally. So it's nice to be able to share our lives with people further away. So anyway, but we are up against the clock, and it's after 10, so we have to be ready to get out of here. But,
I do too. I got to go to work in the morning. So,
See, yeah. So we got to get ready. I've got my first day of homeschool co-op tomorrow, so I'm really excited. I'm teaching classes. So
all right.
I got to get ready for that. But you know what? I thank you guys so much. Everybody that came in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Ricky, for joining us. And, honestly, hey, who likes awesome friends that come on here at the last minute?
Yeah, from Minnesota.
It's been great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you so much, Ricky. Bye, everybody in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks.